Welcome back to high school football on AT&T Broadband. Tonight in a quagmire at Antioch High School, it's the Ygancio Valley Warriors and the Antioch Panthers. Dan Wallen, oh my God, look what the cat dragged in. Poison sang that song. Steve Sanchez, I think they wrote it for you.
Well, they did write it for me, Dan, and after the job Al Anthony and Clay Callum did while I was gone, you guys were about as effective as Janet Reno coming at you and something from Fredericks of Hollywood on. So I figured I better get back in there. The ratings are going down. I got to get back in there. I know my mom called and Dr. Hogue from Danville called, so I'm back.
Oh, at least your mom called, thank God.
And the doctor called.
And that's a scary thought, the Janet Reno thing. And tonight's going to be kind of scary because we have two running teams out here, and it's just a downpour up the pond here at Ellsfield and Antioch. And tell us what you think is going to happen out here tonight.
Well, Dan, this is going to be a game that's won in the trenches. This is smash mouth football. It's the kind of thing where you're limited on things because the field is just a swamp, and they're going to go right at each other. And you know Ygancio Valley style, that hot potato pitch, they're going to come right at you. And Antioch's basically, they're both running teams, so you got to look for, in the trenches, whoever can move the other team around is probably going to be more successful.
Well, both these teams feature great junior running backs. On the Ygancio Valley side of the ball, there's Kyle Foster.
Yeah, Kyle Foster, he's a great back. He's been with this system. He was very good as a sophomore. Here he is as a junior, and he's picked up over 900 yards. He's done a great job, and he's always a threat, and they just keep pounding at you and pounding at you. The only downfall with this offense is if you get behind real early, it's a tough offense to play catch-up, but they haven't gotten that situation yet.
Yeah, Ygancio 4-4 coming in overall. Antioch 5-3 overall. They're having a great year, and Brent Castile has really added some jump to the Antioch Panther offense.
Dan, I've talked to Dave Jackson, our stat man, before this game, and he told me, in his opinion, and I got to agree with him, that this is the fastest back that Antioch has ever had in the history of Antioch High. I've watched this kid run, and he was out for the first game with Monte Vista. He came back, and he's also got over 900 yards, and he's just electric, and he's strong. He's one of them backs, kind of like Earl Campbell. He can get out, he can run over you, he can run around you, and he's very effective.
I'll tell you what, if Antioch wins tonight and Pittsburgh wins tonight, next week's big little game, which will be on AT&T Broadband, will be for the BVL Championship. Should be a great one tonight. We'll be back in 3 minutes to bring it to you here on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible by a generous donation from A&B Creative Trophies. They specialize in awards, Letterman jackets, embroidery, and team trophies. Located on West 6th Street in Antioch. Simply the best selection, price, and service. That's A&B Creative Trophies of Antioch. Mention the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week and receive 5% off your next order. Mazet, Pontiac, Cadillac, Oldsmobile, Buick, and GMC Truck Company on West 10th Street. For over 50 years, Matt Mazet and his courteous, no-pressure sales staff has helped thousands find the right car or truck for their particular budget and needs. That's Mazet's in Antioch, the biggest little auto dealer in the West. Thanks again to all our friends from AT&T Broadband Game of the Week.
Authentic Italian atmosphere.
Rocco's Ristorante.
Room for the whole family.
Rocco's Ristorante.
Pizza, beer, sports.
Rocco's!
Great place for your next team party.
Rocco's.
The best pizza in the East Bay.
Rocco's.
Your table is always ready at Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria at the corner of Oak Grove and Ygancio in Walnut Creek.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible by a generous donation from Fine Things, Italian charm bracelets, Yankee Candle, Willow Tree Angels, and beautiful gifts. Wonderful cards in downtown Antioch. Aladino's Pizza, located on Sunset Drive, right off the Hillcrest exit. Aladino's Pizza has big screen satellite TV for all the big sporting events. Antioch's finest pizzeria. American Plumbing, your plumbing specialist on G Street in downtown Antioch. Sales, repairs, and emergency service. That's American Plumbing, serving East and Central Contra Costa County. Straight Line Builders, specializing in room additions, add-ons, and fencing. Let Jim Carey, a licensed general contractor, do the job right the first time. The new Mecca Cafe on Railroad Avenue in downtown Pittsburgh, serving Contra Costa and beyond for over 30 years. Eat in or order to go. Guillermo and his crew cook with pride. Furtado Heating and Air, sheet metal fabrication for your residential, commercial, and industrial needs on West 10th Street in Antioch. Thanks again to all our friends from the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week.
What are you doing?
What's it look like I'm doing, McFly? I'm changing my oil.
Did Colonel Clink lose his hat?
You're just mad because you don't got one.
Listen, we got a game to do.
It's not Monte Vista and San Ramon, is it?
No, it's Los Lomas. J.C. Lewis, remember the moms? We gotta go. By the way, Sanchez, are you changing the oil in your car or your hair?
My car. You know what? It's late. We gotta go.
Let's go. Steve, what are you gonna do with that oil?
I'm throwing it in the garbage.
Steve, didn't you learn anything last year watching our games on AT&T? You don't put your oil in the garbage.
You don't?
No, it'll end up in the river.
The river.
And the bay.
The bay?
And the ocean.
The ocean?
All three.
In the words of Johnny Carson. I did not know that.
Take your used oil to a certified used oil recycling center. Most will even take your oil filters. Or if you have curbside oil and filter recycling, just seal the oil in a plastic clear container and put the filter in a Ziploc bag and leave it on the curb with the rest of the recyclables. For more information, call 1-800-NO-DUMPING or check out the website at www.funnelhead.com.
Yeah, I thought it was a
Look at her, man.
You're right.
You don't stand a chance. I'll be right back.
Jory's Flowers, 24-hour phone service, 7 days a week. Call 1-888-400-ROSE.
These are gorgeous.
Would you like to go out sometime?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Hi. Can I get those right over there?
Yeah, those are there.
Jory's Flowers, what do you want your flowers to say?
Back at Antioch High School, tonight's game between Ignacio Valley and Antioch, and Dan Wall and Steve Sanchez, great to have you back up here, partner, in the booth after some time off, but I'm sure you feeling better?
Well, Dan, I'm feeling better, and I hate to say this, but darn, I missed you.
Oh, gosh,
Yeah, and I missed Matt, and I think I even missed. No, I didn't miss Jackson.
Okay, I didn't think so.
No.
One thing on a serious note, Steve, we're going to dedicate tonight's game to the Perrin family over in Walnut Creek. Andy Perrin, the father, passed away this past week, and we've had a nice relationship with the Los Lomas folks
Yes,
over the
we
last
have,
2
Dan.
years, and so we want to send our best wishes out to Ryan and the family as they get over that tragedy.
And I would really like to thank the Contra Costa Times. I think they did a great job of putting that in the paper, and what a great story that really was, and what a great inspiration he was.
Folks, tonight's game will be different than anything I think you've seen us do before because it has been pouring over here all afternoon. It's a pond down there on the field. The cheerleaders are in their sweatsuits and with plastic. There's only about 100 people on the Antioch side, maybe 200, and it's the Hardy and the relatives who have come out
That's
for
right.
tonight's game. Jason Soares will kick off for Antioch. Ignacio will have the ball first in that toss offense. Kyle Foster and Zach Rockwell are deep, and we're underway from Antioch. A little pooch kick to start this one, and it's right into the middle of the quagmire. This is Foster, and Foster is still on his feet, and even though it's a pond out there, Foster breaks a number of tackles, gets out over the 50-yard line, and that's where Ignacio Valley will take over. A 30-yard return for Foster. Let's take a look at the Ignacio Valley offense. They do a lot of the same thing, the hot potato pitch. Aaron Hannigan's the quarterback. Kyle Foster, Jason Stewart, and Rusty Wynn, the running backs. Lachlan Lolahia, Steve, just for you, and Obi Asuka also for you in the backfield tonight. Jose Gorgonio, Eric Barnett, Ron Farrell, Julian Laxon, and Sacco Patolo.
Sacco Potato or Potato, whichever way you want to go.
Whichever one.
But Dan, Ignacio's already got advantage. They're playing with a short field.
And we'll show you the hot potato pitch, I'm sure, here soon. It's going to be a quick pitch this time to Foster. And Foster picks his way through and has a first down over the 40 down to the 35-yard line. Let's take a look at the Antioch offense. It's different from the last time we saw them when they played Monte Vista back on opening night in September. Daniel Zuniga, Zach Jaggers, James Gray, Marcus Brown, and T. Dixon across the front. They're playing a 5-4-2 tonight with Richie Beltram, Deontay Weisinger, Chris Coons, Steve Deal Kuchak as linebackers, and Aaron Straighton and Brent Castile are playing safeties tonight, Steve.
Well, what that means, Dan, is that they're playing 9 in the box, and that's what Ignacio Valley's offense makes you do. They make you play up and play that run. Great success on the first run by Foster, picked up about 11.
Ignacio Valley beat Liberty last week 27-14 to even their record at 4-4, and there's a penalty on the play. A 12-yard gain on first down for Kyle Foster.
You're going to get T. Dixon, number 2, on the right-hand side, jumping early. They're going to pick up 5 on this.
Good call, Steve. And here's our referees for tonight's game. Dan Leary is the ref. The line judge is Dave Gregory. Head linesman is Morgan Lakin. Paul Swanson is the umpire, and Chuck Butterfield, a back judge, a good veteran crew out here tonight at Antioch High School. And already Ignacio Valley knocking on the door.
Knocking on the door. And Dan, all of a sudden the rain has stopped, but we still got a muddy field. Let's see how long this rain stays away.
It looks like they're setting up CU, and that's his first run of the game. And CU has another first down. And CU is tackled across the 20 into, it looks like about the 16, a 12-yard gain. So they're actually going to mark this one at the 14-yard line.
And right now,
first down.
Excuse me, Dan, but right now, real early on the right-hand side, Ron Farrell and Sacco Patolo. What did I say? Patolo. Sacco Patolo's doing a great job on that right side. They're really opening up some big holes on the right side, so they're winning early.
Ignacio Valley has won the last 3 games against Antioch. 138-19 has been the combined score. Antioch wants to reverse that trend here tonight. Pitch to CU, and this time he's bottled up and hit after a short gain. Finally, the Antioch defense able to get in there and make that tackle.
I think it's very important for Antioch here, Dan, not to give up a touchdown. I mean, they can give up a touchdown. I mean, their offense is very explosive. I think we're going to see a high-scoring game tonight, regardless of the field. But right now, I think it's very important with Ignacio Valley. What you want to do is not let them get on you early, because they can smell blood with that offense once they start rolling on it. Let's look at the last 3 years, Dan. 55-0 and 99. Ignacio Valley 34-12 and 2000 and 2001. Ignacio Valley 49, Antioch 7. That's 138-19 the last 3 meetings.
Ugly. And they've won all 3 meetings, and this is the second meeting with Micah Vankovich as the head coach of the Warriors. There's another short run this time. It's CU once again.
And there's Richie Beltram, Dan. That's one thing about this this wing T offense, Dan. Richie Beltram is the key for Antioch. Yeah, you shouldn't see them getting a lot of yardage up the middle with Beltram there, but maybe wide. And they kind of lull you to sleep with that offense they run. So he's really going to have to pay attention. But it's going to take the whole Antioch defense to stop this offense.
It's 3rd and 8, and the ball is spotted at the 14-yard line. You would think that this is 4-down territory. I don't think that the kickers are going to come into play here tonight unless it's a really in a good area of the field.
Right.
And Ignacio Valley always seems to know when to throw a pass. This time they run a little counter back. This is Jason Stewart, and he stopped after a short gain. It's going to bring up a 4th down and the first big play of tonight's ball game.
First big play. It's going to be about a 4th and 5, Dan. They're about on the 14. That's going to be they're about on the 11-yard line right now, Dan. That's looking like about a 28-yarder, something like that if they're going to try it, but the field's kind of slippery there. They're going to go.
The quarterback for Ignacio Valley is Aaron Hannigan. And one thing about Ignacio's quarterback is not only does he have to be able to lead the offense, he needs to be able to get out there and lead the block.
And lead the block, yeah. Sometimes he's a lead guy.
So even if Antioch can hold here, they will have to go the length of the field to score. Big play, 4th and 6. Motion man is Stewart, and they call a timeout because I don't think he liked what he saw. Maybe they were going for the long count to try to get Antioch to jump offside. The Panthers very disciplined that time, Steve. During this timeout, I got to show you something, Steve.
Okay.
We happened to find you on your vacation, and I wanted to show you some of the photos you sent in. You're going to enjoy this. Let's take a look at it right now. There's Steve in Hawaii, and that's a nice shot.
Looks like Tom Arnold, having a good time.
Okay, here's Steve at Disneyland. That's very nice. With Dumbo, with Dave Jackson. There you go.
Me and Dave.
There's Steve in Paris. That's very nice. The Eiffel Tower. That's very. And now here's a good one. I like this. Steve with President Bush. Steve with President Bush.
Who is that guy?
I don't know who it is. It isn't you, though. And then here's one. Now, are you visiting our troops or their troops in that one right there?
Actually, what I'm doing, look at the bullet holes behind me. Look what we've been practicing shooting at.
And then, of course, we've always said you're out of this world. There you are on the moon. So Steve Sanchez's vacation, that's where he's been, and we're glad to have him back. Here we go, 4th and 6. And a pitch to Stewart. And I don't think he's going to get there. Antioch holds.
No, he ain't going to come close, Dan. There was a pack of Panthers in on that tackle.
A pack of Panthers and a tribe of Warriors. So a great defensive stand there by the Antioch Panthers, and the Panthers will take over at the 10-yard line.
Chris Coons was in on that, Dan. And who's number...
Let's take a look at the Antioch offense real quick. Joey Loma, the quarterback. T. Dixon, Charles Brown, and Brent Castile in the backfield. Aaron Straighton's the wide receiver. Leon Lasarica is the tight end. Across the front line for Antioch tonight. We'll have to get that for you after this play. First down, Antioch running the wing T. And this is a handoff. This is Castile, who we did not see against Monte Vista. And Castile is a very hard back to bring down with just one tackler. He gets about 6. Okay, here's the offensive line for Antioch before we go to the Ignacio Valley defense. Ruben Luna at center, Josh DeBenny, the left guard, Paul J. Jovacchini, the right guard, Bill Wills, and Ross Hudgens, the tackles. We should have enough time to show you the Ignacio Valley defense, since Antioch has to go about 85 more yards to score a touchdown.
Dan, one thing a lot of people don't know about Bill Wills, he's been playing with a broken foot all year. And he's been not even practicing. Go ahead, Dan.
Well, we'll bring that back up after this play. We want to get the Ignacio Valley defense in. Yeah, Bill Wills, a Warrior, probably going to a Division I school next year.
Definitely go to a D1 school. 2nd
and 4, gain of 6 on first down. Handoff to Brown. And Brown is Mr. Outside, but that time a great defensive play. And this is going to be fun all night long as you try to get numbers.
Yeah. Number 40, Dan.
Number 40 for Ignacio Valley is Yader Pastor. Let's take a look at the Ignacio Valley defense. Matt Callahan, Sacco Patolo, Virgil Leach, and Tony Torres across the line. Jimmy Warren and Bill Siu are 2 of the linebackers. Charles Lolahea and Yada Pastor, who made that play, are the other linebackers. Zach Rockwell, Tim Callan, and Jason Stewart in the defensive backfield for the Warriors. Loss of 3 on the play. 3rd and 5 for Antioch, their first big play on offense in tonight's ballgame. No score, 7:15 to go, and they go to Dixon up the middle, and that went nowhere.
No.
And a big human wall in number 77, Matt Callahan, 6'7", 270, was there to corral Dixon. It's going to bring up a 4th down in a punting situation for Antioch.
Yeah, they're going to try to have to punt out they didn't get much yardage on this first possession, Dan. They picked up about 7 yards. They're still pinned back in the end zone. This is a very important punt. Try to get them out to midfield. Try to hold them again.
And some of the things we got to remember tonight, Steve, one of them is that when your knee goes down in high school, you're down.
That's right.
And on punts and on kicks and anytime you slip, you're going to be down. So the footing is going to be a very, very valuable trait at tonight's game.
And that's the Dan Steve rule we want to change.
Exactly. I hate that rule.
Me too. I think it's crazy.
Soares into punt. Good snap. Soares gets off a good kick. This is Rockwell. Oh, Rockwell lets it bounce, and it takes an Antioch bounce. And it's going to bounce right into
a puddle.
Yeah, right in a puddle at the 38-yard line. 47-yard punt. Dave Jackson came up with that before the ball stopped rolling. That's how good he is. And so Ignacio Valley will take over for the 2nd time tonight. 6:15 to go here in the first period, and tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is brought to you by great friends of the program here on AT&T Broadband, and they include Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh. Don't forget that new James Bond movie's coming out.
Oh, me and my boys see every Bond movie. Go ahead, Daniel.
Jory's Flowers of Concord and Walnut Creek, and the Contra Costa Clean Water Program and Mr. Funnelhead. And Steve, you should remember this. It's free, easy, and cool to recycle.
It really is. And what a big-time kick by Jason Soares to get him out of a hole, Dan. Big-time kick.
Yeah, field position is going to play an important role in tonight's game. Ignacio Valley, 1st down. Straight ahead this time with Foster. Foster breaks a tackle, bounces outside, and gets about 6. Coons was over there once again with number 22, DeMont Anderson, for the Panthers to make the tackle.
And you can see the style he has, Dan. He's more of a slashing kind of runner. You know what I mean? He gets that little opening, gains 6 yards on the play, and it's a 2nd and 4th down. Anytime he gets 6 yards on the first play, it sets your offense up.
You know, this is a big game for Antioch after those last 3 years and the losses to Ignacio Valley. And, of course, if they win tonight and Pittsburgh beats Liberty tonight, they could play for the BVL championship, but they could still end up in a 4-way tie if a lot of things happen. And we'll talk a little bit about that during tonight's game. Foster bounces outside, has a 1st down, still on his feet at the 45, and then he's drugged down by Castile, who pushes him back to about the 46. So spotted at the 46, but it's going to be a 1st down after a gain of 9.
Kind of like... listen to the replay right here, Dan. And right here he just runs. Watch him change directions right here. That's a real good feel for a running back right here. And he's picking up some valuable yardage right here. Gets to the outside. There's a couple of guys who miss. And then Castile says, I've had enough of this racket. You ain't going nowhere.
Well, you know what? I was impressed there. They collapsed the right side of the line and pushed back the left side of the line, so Foster had a nice alley to run through on that play. And Castile, who's playing both ways tonight, came up to make the tackle.
Yeah, so, Eric Barnett, I'm sorry, Dan. Eric Barnett and Julian Laxon on that left side did a very good job of collapsing that right side of the Antioch defense.
1st down, the ball at the 46-yard line. No score, 4:58 to go first quarter. Pitch this time. This is Foster. And Foster's knocked out of bounds. And, Steve, this is going to be, it's going to look like Green Acres with Arnold the Pig rolling through the trough of mud in there today.
And that was Richie Beltram in there right there. And you can see once Richie Beltram gets set up. And let's watch number 33 in the middle, Dan. He's reading it. He sniffs it out. Now watch him here. He just closes in on him. And
it's not going to take as much to get a guy out of bounds.
No.
One thing about coming over into I haven't seen the front of Foster's jersey yet. It looks like it's not as dirty as some muddy fields, but coming over to the sideline where the benches are, where there's a lot of mud, when guys are sliding through there, we might be struggling to identify some of the players tonight. 2nd and 9. Ygancio Valley, actually 2nd and 8, a gain of 2 on that play, the ball at the 44-yard line. The wing tee and the toss offense is what the Ygancio Valley coach Ygancio likes to call it.
There's a reverse.
Double reverse CU. The ball's on the ground. The ball's still on the ground. Antioch has it.
Yes,
the first big break of the night. And is that Coons again? It is. Chris Coons, who did not start in the first game against Monte Vista, comes in, recovers that fumble. Antioch's going to take over. And you know, Steve, if we can get a look at this is something Ygancio might want to consider. That second handoff is what lost him the ball here.
Well, he never really had control of it. And right there, it's a pigskin on the loose.
There you go. Absolutely, I'll tell you, and that's just part of that offense. They run the hot potato pitch, they counter. Sometimes they spread out, and in that situation, they ran that double reverse.
Dan, one thing that's got me and you so excited about this game, we know that Antioch's going to be in this game. They're not going to get blown out by YV this year.
That is good because they haven't been in the previous games. Castile, and you know what? That's probably the first time this year that Brent Castile has gained 1 yard on a run.
Yeah, and it really is, and they're still filling them out, and I think it's really going to be hard for Antioch's offense to swing wide. Even with Castile's speed, he's neutralized with this field right here. It's going to be tough. So, this game, I think, Dan, I think Dave Jackson may be right. He said it's going to be lower scoring. I think he may be right. This may be lower scoring. I thought it was going to be kind of up there, but
maybe if we were at DVC, as where last year's game was played. By the way, just so you know, Castile's the speed guy and the feature back. Charles Brown is the wide back, and Dixon is the guy that bangs inside. And now the ball's on the ground, and Dixon just has to fall on it.
Yeah.
And, this is pretty much what you can expect from this game. One thing, the game should go by quickly. I don't think there's going to be a lot of passing in this game tonight, a lot of running, and you're going to see some turnovers and some balls on the ground, and it's probably going to be the lucky team that wins tonight.
That's right. And here's a replay right here. The right there just shoots through Loma's hands right there. And like you said, Dixon does a smart thing. He just falls on it and says, I'm not going to get cute with it. Let's just regroup. And it's 3rd down, a big 3rd down play. If we don't get it, we can punt him back down and try to let our defense hold him again. One thing I think you will see, Dan, I think you'll see Joey Loma throw the ball a little bit more than what you will.
You haven't been here for a number of weeks, Steve. It's 3rd and long. You want to give it a shot, 3rd and...
Let me see. Look that way. How about 3rd and Starbucks?
There you go. And here is Brown, and he's got a caravan out in front of him. Breaks a tackle. There's a penalty. I think he got the first down, but a penalty came in from the back judge, and that usually means a holding or a clip.
That's going to come back.
And this is really going to bring up a down and distance.
Yeah.
The only thing that could be thrown from this range, okay, it is holding on Antioch. I was going to say is a face mask or maybe a defensive illegal use of the hands is the only thing that can come from that back judge. So here's our referee tonight, Dan Leary, with the call. It's a hold on Antioch.
Read the lips, see what he says.
Yeah, we do not.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff not happening out here tonight, Steve. We have only 2 cameras up high because of the rain. There's a lot of. It's too muddy to do a lot of the things that we normally do because we're not exactly at Giant Stadium.
No, we're not. And a guy you got to take your hat off to, Brett Fisher did a pretty good job holding this team together while Joey Loma was gone.
Antioch had a lot of injuries, and specifically in that Liberty game where they really laid an egg on with all the turnovers. Here's an inside handoff. I think that was Lontavius Johnson for the first time tonight.
That's Lontavius, number 21.
No, actually, that was Castile.
That was Castile, number 5. You're right.
It's just not going to be as quick and efficient as we've been in the past. But Antioch will at least this time be able to push Ygancio back with a long field. They're going to have to punt from the 50-yard line, a gain of 4 on that play. 2:34 to go in the first quarter, Stephen. We're moving right along. And this is a big game. Now, let me just set up a couple scenarios for you. Antioch loses, Ygancio would be 4-2 in the league.
Right.
If Liberty beats Pitt, and then Freedom beats Liberty, Antioch beats Pitt, we'll have a 4-way tie for first place next week.
And then we'll just let our mothers figure it out.
He
barely got
that off. And it's down to Rockwell at the 21-yard line. Rockwell trying to get outside.
Ain't going to happen.
Great tackle.
Number 36, I think that's
Charles
Mr. Brown.
Charles Brown makes a nice tackle that time, and it might even be close. 22-yard punt. 22-yard punt, and we're going to call it a short return. Additional sponsors: Fine Things, Aladino's Pizza, American Plumbing, Straight Line Builders, the New Mecca Cafe, and thanks for tonight's crew meal, Guillermo. Furtado Heating and Air,
Jack and Becky Furtado, great job.
Lee Home Sales, Delta RC Raceway and Hobby Shop, Dragon's Lair at Rivertown, Delta Bay Waterproofing, Performance Chiropractic, and Communications Buildings of America. 2:03 to go here in the first quarter. No score in a field that resembles the swamps outside of Disneyland in Orlando, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
And Foster, another good run. Foster so far has really been effective on this field, and whereas Castile has not been effective on this field.
And so far, if you look at this right side, Dan, the great job they're doing right there, collapsing that side. And here's a good pull right here by 46 from YV, and that's some good camera work right there. Mr. Foster running. There's Richie Belter, puts it into the madness.
We have one camera down low.
Yeah, we do
were
have a
able to
camera
run
down low,
one camera down to the sideline and two upstairs. That was Lachlan Lolahea with a great seal block as a tight end coming in there.
And if I could have said his name on, I gave him credit. And Barnett and Laxton are doing a great job on that right side, or that left side of YV right now. And they had a little success on the other side. So right now, Ignacio's winning the battle up front, but they don't got nothing to show for it.
Yeah, that's the fourth first down for the Warriors. The first pass of the night. Hannigan goes up top and throws one well over the, and not even the outstretched arms, just well over the head of Zach Rockwell, who was running down there. Zach is like the captain of the team. Coach Ivankovich told me that he's really taken a leadership role, and we remember him. I believe he plays basketball as well.
He plays basketball, and the last time we seen him, he said he was going to come to Antioch and slap Sean Namany around, and last time Sean looked at him, he was dropping about a 27-footer for his 33rd point, and they beat him. But Zach's a great kid. I talked to him in the office, said, kids get fired up, man. That's what it's all about, and he's a good kid.
1:25 to go here in the first quarter. No score. They're in the I now, so they've actually come out of that toss, but they toss this time to Foster, and a big gain again. Foster has a first down across midfield, and Foster over the 45-yard line down to the 43. Coons was there once again to make the tackle for Antioch, but I'll tell you, Foster is having a big game in the first quarter for Ignacio Valley.
A real big game, Dan. And right here, the lead block right there, Dan. So what's our man's name? Number 40?
Lolahea.
What's Lolahea knocked this guy? There's a big block. Here's another good block on the outside by number 84.
I take that back, Steve. Lolahea, that was Rusty Wynn who made that block.
Okay, Rusty Wynn, thank you very much.
Another great run for Foster. Let me sneak in here real quick. 6 carries for 63 yards. Mucking it up here in the mud for Kyle Foster. And Antioch has very little. They might have 7 or 8 yards of total offense. They're the leading offense in the entire area. And Ignacio Valley is really sticking it to them here on offense and defense in the first quarter. But we're still scoreless, and that time a great individual effort inside. Trying to get that number for you. That's number 55 for Antioch. That's Zach Jaggers who makes that tackle.
Zach's been having a good game. And Johnny Kaiser, he was in on that. I got to mention a couple guys, Dan. Leon Lasarica played a good game. I didn't mention him against Monte Vista. And Tim Arts' son played a good game. And he's a tight end now. And Tim was on the championship 72 Panthers team. With Marv Comstock. You remember that name?
I do remember Marv. Another handoff in the eye at Foster. And this time I think he was tripped as one of his linemen, and it's almost impossible to tell that number right now.
55, Dan.
Well, it was Jaggers who made the play, but the lineman is just his jersey is.
Well, he just blocked him right into his man, and there was yardage over there. This is a big third down. It's 3rd down and 11 right here, Dan. This is a big play for Antioch.
And that is the end of the first quarter. A quick one here in Antioch. No score. We'll be back in 2 minutes here on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible by a generous donation from Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems and stadium-style seating. Catch the back-to-school movie special at their Pittsburgh location with rolled-back admission prices and a free concession coupon each week on the Brendan Pittsburgh website page. And RSC Rental Service Corporation in Martinez. RSC offers a wide variety of equipment specific to the petrochemical industry, as well as the general contractor and homeowner. We deliver straight to the site and have a fully trained staff of mechanics and office personnel to fit every need. That's Rental Service Corporation, 4030 Pacheco Boulevard in Martinez. Thanks again to all our friends from the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week.
Frankie, what are you doing underneath your car?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm changing my oil filter.
Come on, let's go. The girls won't wait forever.
As soon as I clean this mess up, we can go.
Just toss it in the garbage over there, or in the storm drain.
Boy, Chaz, you just don't get it. Whatever goes down the storm drains goes directly to the river, delta, and the bay. And most importantly, to your precious surf beaches. Do the right thing. Take care of your used motor oil and filter and recycle it.
Back for the second quarter at Antioch High School. No score, a big 3rd and 11 play for Ignacio Valley. Antioch's defense is bent a little, but they haven't broken so far.
Yeah, that's a good cliche, and it's the right one to use, too, because that's exactly what happened.
Pitch to Foster, and Foster breaks through. He's going to have a first down, and he might have more. Foster still on his feet, but he fumbles. The ball's on the ground, and it's fallen ahead. And Ignacio Valley, they dodged a bullet there. Not only did they get the fumble, they gained more yardage as Zach Rockwell went down the field to recover that fumble from Foster.
Yes, he did. Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. And right here, they're running on the left side with Laxton and Barnett, Eric and Julian on the left side. They're doing a good job. And in the open field here, he's making right decisions. He's making guys miss, straight and right there miss. 47 puts a good lick on him, and it comes out. And right here, they get very lucky. They dodge a major bullet.
I believe that's Deontay Weisinger.
It is Deontay Weisinger. It's exactly who it is.
He's listed as number 30 on our roster, but he's number 47. First down, Ignacio. The ball at the 9-yard line. This is the first big break of the ball game for the Warriors. Pitch this time. I think that's CU, and it is, and he gets about 6. And you know what CU says to you when he runs by you, don't you?
See you.
See you.
Yeah.
You haven't lost it, Sanchez.
No, Deontay Weisinger and Richie Belter was both in on that tackle. And right now, the Warriors, if they come away with nothing here, Dan, boy, they're going to feel like really that we're letting these guys just hang around right here because they've really dominated. And
well, they have 109 yards of offense to Antioch's probably in the range of about 10.
Right.
And with the penalties, Antioch probably has negative yardage.
Right.
Second down. That's Stewart in motion. Stewart takes the pitch, trying to spread it outside, but you could see he's very tentative where Foster isn't.
That's right.
Beltram had enough time to get over there. Also with number 57, Coons was there to make the tackle. It's going to bring up a 3rd and long and a 3rd and goal, figuring 4-down territory here.
Now, I can call this one Jason Stewart, with the ball here. He's running out. And right there's just a pack of Panthers right there. They're all over him. Castile's in there, and Beltram, of course, he's cleaning up the mess.
And Coons. The ball's at the 10, so Ignacio's lost a yard on that play. Actually, they lost 4 on that play because they had gained 3 on the previous play. It's 3rd and 10. And this looks like a passing formation for the Warriors. A little bit of a drizzle has started to fall here.
Look for the flag.
And they've pitched to Foster. Foster trying to spread it out, but once again, he breaks a tackle, but he only gets down to the 5. It's going to bring up a 4th and goal for Ignacio Valley. I'll tell you, he's the big difference in this game, though, Steve.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Everyone else is playing like they're on eggshells, and he's not. 99 yards on 10 carries here in the first half for Kyle Foster.
Well, I think what's going on, Dan, is their offensive line is winning the battle of the trenches right now, and Foster is just taking advantage of it. If you see him when he gets the ball, when he takes the turn, there's nobody in front of him. He's got nothing but yardage to go for.
Now, in that time, there actually was an Antioch defender there, but he broke that tackle.
Yeah, he did break one tackle on that one right there. But most of his runs has been nothing but, getting past that first line of defense, and then you're off to the races.
This is going to be a big play. You can see the huge Ignacio Valley line here on 4th down, offset backs, long count, handoff to Foster. He has a hole. Castile, though, they bring him down short of the goal line.
Yes, they do.
Antioch has held again, and this is not a trait of the Antioch offense, but as we mentioned, bend not break. They've given up over 120 yards of total offense, but no points.
Well, Dan, you know what? No matter what happens in this football game, no matter what happens, Ignacio's going to look back and go, boy, we really let them off the hook early in this game.
Here's the BVL standings so far. Liberty and Pittsburgh are playing tonight in Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh wins that game and Antioch wins this game, next week's Big Little game is for the championship. But follow me once again, Steve. If Ignacio wins,
right,
Antioch beats Pitt.
Exactly.
Pitt loses to Liberty, and then Liberty loses to Freedom. Is that it? Or no, Pitt beats Liberty. Liberty loses to Freedom. 4-2, 4 teams at the top of the standings. Handoff once again. This is Castile, and Castile straight ahead. And that's not really his game, that pounding kind of power game. That looks more like Dixon. But Castile that time gets some positive yardage for Antioch. Antioch just needs something good to happen here.
Yeah, they do. And I think what you're going to see, Dan, and the difference in this game, somebody's going to complete a big pass that's going to make the difference in this ball game.
And that's very true. Ferris Anthony in his 7th year coaching the Panthers with Anthony Borelli, Troy Amate, Sean Taylor, Lee Petrozetti, Roger Henry, Chris Henry, and Vern Martin, the JV coach over here at Antioch with Jeff Rich, the principal, and Louis Rocha, the assistant principal. And who's your buddy, the security guy over here?
That's Tim Manley.
Yeah, that's him.
Mr. Ribs.
Where is Tim?
Tim, he's down there somewhere. You can't miss him. He's 6'5", 280.
Castile, a couple. That time it's going to bring up a 3rd and short for Antioch. Just needs a first down.
Yeah, they do. Just need something going to keep their defense off the field for a while. That's the big man himself. And we say it every time, but what a great job he does here at Antioch High. The kids love this guy, and Ferris always brings people underneath him who knows what they're doing. Anthony Borelli's done a heck of a job calling this offense this year, and Troy Amonte's done a good job at the quarterback situation, and Sean Taylor, and just Roger Henry. That's a school board Roger Henry. He's done a great job with the line.
Handoff inside. I think Antioch got the first down.
Yeah, they did. They're going to pick it up.
They're going to move the chains. It's really starting to come down again out here tonight. Maybe we can get a shot for you. I know Matt loves this shot of the lights as Antioch does get a first down. But there's a good shot for you. Look at the rain coming down here tonight. Another shower coming over. And I'll tell you, Steve, this thing could go on for a while. It could be 0-0 about 11 o'clock tonight.
And Dan, James Burke just came out of this game right here. He's a great kid, plays wide receiver. And Castile has run for 4 touchdowns on his side. He's made great blocks as a wide receiver. And he's caught his first pass 2 days ago in high school football. Great kid. And he shattered his dad's record of none.
This is Johnson, Lontavius Johnson, and looked like an MTV video over there in the water.
Look at that now. There's a good shot, Dan.
Man.
To show you. I mean,
it's coming down here at Antioch. I don't think I've ever been involved in a game like this on television, Steve. I do remember a game once when I was working for the Sacramento Surge of the European Football League. We did the first game they ever played was in a monsoon up in Sacramento. And I remember it rained so bad that it actually flooded the press box.
Well, I know one thing you were involved in. You were involved in a felony one night when it was raining a little bit heavy. This because I was with you.
Handoff once again. This is Brown. Brown breaks the tackle. Brown has a block. It's straightened. Brown's at the 50. Brown's at the 40. Brown is caught from behind. A great individual effort by number 17, Jimmy Warren. But there's the first break of the day. Oh, and we have an injury, too. It's Jason Stewart who got hurt, and he's being helped off the field. I think he hurt his shoulder, but that was a huge gain. They started that run at the 16-yard line. 52-yard gain for Brown, and watch him just squeak through here and make a big play.
Let's watch this replay, Dan. And this is what Brown does very good. He's very strong right here. Right here, he breaks you a couple guys. Right there, look at that. He breaks you that hit, and right here, it's I'll meet you at Bay Metals. And Straighten gets out in front, does a pretty good job. But he gives about another 10 yards, and he gets by that guy, but it was number 17 from the backside that slowed that down for YV, Dan.
It was Jimmy Warren.
Jimmy Warren.
And let me just point out, it was Zach Rockwell trying to make the tackle who hurt Jason Stewart, and it looked like he might have got a stinger to the shoulder. So we have a timeout here on the field with 6:23 to go, no score. Antioch right there on one play quadrupled their offensive output of the first half.
Well, Dan, that's what they do. They got 3 very good running backs, and with this offense and Anthony Borelli calling the offense, they got 4 good running backs. Thank you very much. Latavius Johnson, let's don't forget him. You're right.
And here's the big back, Castile. Castile hasn't been able to really shake loose, though. A good tackle that time on the opposite side, number 44. This is the other Lolahea, Charles Lolahea. But here's the thing about Antioch, Steve. Joey Loma, the quarterback, Junior. Dixon.
Junior.
Brown.
Junior.
Castile.
Junior.
Straighten.
Junior.
Las Rica.
Junior.
Ruben Luna, the center.
Junior.
Unbelievable.
Yep. And I'll tell you, 2 other teams have got some juniors coming back. Pittsburgh High and Deer Valley next year is going to have a very good team.
Well,
and you know what? I want to say to Scott Sabrani, keep your head up, Scott. He's a great guy. They're a little bit down this year. They're getting sand kicked on them. But, with him and Jimmy McGanna there, they will turn that program around.
Also, Steve, Kyle Foster and Aaron Hannigan from Ignacio Valley will return next year. There's a lot of great juniors in this
league.
Look
at this, Dan.
Handoff Dixon. Dixon breaks straight up the middle for a first down, and he's tackled at the 15-yard line. Antioch moving the ball, trying to go in and score. There was almost a fumble on that play, but Dixon got the ball back for Antioch. So Antioch is effectively moving down the field. They've gained 75 yards. Here's a replay.
Let's watch this play right there, Dan. On the right side, is it Huggins, Dan? Hudgens. And Paul Giovacchini and Ruben Luna right there opened up that hole.
You had 6 weeks to get that name right.
Yeah, I know it. I have a tough time with him. I have a tough time with life.
Yes, you do.
Well, you've seen where I've been the last few weeks. I've been all over the place.
Just a trendsetter you are, Sanchez.
That's right.
Now we have to go through the process of wiping off the ball and respotting the ball all the time, because this is really I can't even remember even sitting out here at Antioch High School and watching a game in a quagmire like this in a long time. Handoff, that's Brown, and Brown, another good gain. Antioch's starting to open up some holes.
You know what's going on, Dan? They're opening up holes, okay, right now, and their running backs are not losing faith. They're running full steam, and they're finding little cracks in the defense right there. Let's watch this on the left-hand side. Josh DeBeanie and Billy Wills, they're related. They're there. They just opened a Ryder truck, could have ran through that right there, and just a real good job. Picked up about 14 yards, Dan.
Or you in your rocking chair.
I'm in my rocking chair, but I'll be back in my UPS truck. Monday was off the whole week.
2nd and 2. Antioch inside the red zone, and a handoff to Dixon. Straight ahead. Dixon, touchdown! Touchdown, Antioch. An 8-yard run from T. Dixon. Antioch goes 90. Let me see if Dave Jackson has this. 94 yards after they hold Ignacio to get on the board. Oh, he's saying 98 yards.
98 yards. And what a great job by Anthony Borelli, Dan, on that sequence right there. Boy, he mixed it up inside, outside, just really confused him. And right now, you're going to look back, and they're going to, like I told you, they're going to be saying, hey, we had our opportunities early, and Antioch held. So this is a big turnaround right here.
Yeah, if Ignacio Valley loses this game, they're going to look back on those 2 chances in the red zone, and they failed on both of them. Antioch that time with great confidence went right down the field, 98 yards officially from Dave Jackson. T. Dixon, an 8-yard run to put them on the board with 4:26 to go first half, and Soares on to attempt the extra point.
And every extra point is huge, Dan.
And that one is down the middle, and it's good. 4:26 to go second quarter, 7-0 Panthers. And there is the score here tonight. And Steve, while you were gone, I just wanted to say I thought Clay Callum and Al Anthony and John Whitman did a great job in your absence.
They did.
Here's another look
I
at the
appreciate
touchdown.
their being there. And let's watch it right here, Dan. Ruben Luna right there. DeBeanie, Wills, everybody just crashes in.
Or DeBenny, depending on your preference.
What did I say?
DeBeanie.
DeBeanie? God, I'm
He
awful.
knows what you mean.
Why would you guys want me back? I don't understand it.
The AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible by a generous donation from A&B Creative Trophies, specializing in awards, Letterman jackets, embroidery, and team trophies on West 6th Street in Antioch. And I think, we didn't have the correct one for you. We'll get it for you. That way we'll give them 2 plugs. Here we go. Here we go. A&B Creative Trophies, specializing in awards, Letterman jackets, embroidery, and team trophies on West 6th Street in Antioch. Mazet Pontiac on West 10th Street in Antioch, and soon coming to the new Auto Mall in Pittsburgh.
Auto Mall in Pittsburgh.
The biggest little auto dealer in the West, and RSC Rental Service Corporation in Martinez. Scissor lift, sliding, and other equipment for the petrochemical industry at 4030 Pacheco Boulevard in Martinez. And Steve, there's an auto mall out there every night at In-N-Out Burger.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable. And I've been there, and I still drive to San Ramon because San Ramon's are better. I don't know what.
Really?
Oh, I don't know what's wrong with this one in Pittsburgh. I need to talk to the manager. They're more soggy. They're not as good as the ones at San Ramon. They're more soggy. They're not real soggy, but they're soggier than the ones at San Ramon.
The In-N-Out Burgers
The In-N-Out
are
Burger.
soggy.
Come on.
Like this field is soggy.
That's the In-N-Out field out there.
and thanks to not our sponsor, In-N-Out Burger.
I know I won't be getting a burger.
Soares, another little pooch kick, and this one's going to come down, and it's taken by Rockwell at the 18-yard line. Rockwell picks his way through. A good return this time out to the 33-yard line. He was brought down by number 42, Zach Robinson. 14-yard return for Rockwell.
Number 4, Matt Head was in on that.
Matt used his head on that
Matt used his head.
Well, we have the
and I know his mom and dad, but it don't mean nothing. Go ahead, Dan.
I want to tell you about the Ignacio Valley coaching staff. Mike Ivankovich, great guy. Talked to him for a long time on Wednesday. He's always a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Michaels, who all these guys went to Ignacio Valley or to De La Salle. Matt Wade, also Rob Forrester, Rob Tomlinson's an assistant coach. Ryan Carey's the JV coach. And Matt went to school with Darren, who graduated in '87. And they all played with Chris Walsh, and they're all buddies with Chris Walsh. He's a Minnesota Viking.
Good. You probably send him some money, get out of jail for drinking.
Oh, brother. Good tackle that time by T. Dixon as he drops Foster for a loss. Ignacio needs to go in and try to get on the board here, Steve, with 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. 109 yards on 12 carries for Foster in the first half.
And right there, Dan, they stuffed that for a couple yards. And Ignacio Valley right here, you know what? They've kind of waked the sleeping dog. You know, they kind of had him down. And
next week, This might be the biggest game we've ever done. San Ramon Valley and Monte Vista. There's this Times, and check your local listings in the Contra Costa Times. And then on Saturday, we'll be right back here at Antioch, and we'll have that graphic for you after this play. We'll tell you about it. Could be one of the biggest Big Little games in almost 20 years.
I'm even going to go to the Monte Vista game in case Matt needs some help with something.
Oh, what a great
play right there.
You know, who is this Chris Coons? Where did he come from?
I don't know, but whatever he ate today, he better eat next week before the Big Little game. Let's watch it. Number 57 right here. Plays off the block right there. It just does a great job, and once he gets his hands on Foster, it's just a done deal.
Third, and I'm going to call it Rayleigh's for Ignacio Valley. Next week, Antioch and Pittsburgh. That game will be on Saturday, and we'll have that on for you in East County. There it is right there. And as we mentioned, if Antioch wins tonight and Pittsburgh beats Liberty, that game will be for the BVL championship. We could have 2 championship games, and then we're going to bring you a playoff game each week, and we're going to try to bring you a 4A game, a 3A game, and a 2A game. More than likely, we'll do the 2A championship. More than likely, that could be Miramani and Los Lomas.
I'm pumped.
Nice to have you back.
I'm back. Boy, I'm pumped. High school football.
3rd and 16. Play action. Hannigan to throw. He throws not over the middle, but to the sideline to the tight end. That was number 46, Lola Hea, and it's incomplete. And Ignacio's going to have to punt for the first time, and Antioch really could do some damage if they can go in and score again.
Well, you know, Dan, if they go up by 2 TDs with 2/3, they got plenty of time to work the clock right here. Maybe look for Joey Loma to go on top right here. You know, look out for Tim Arts, the tight end, or maybe Straighten. Las Rica. Maybe Straighten, maybe James Burke. Who knows?
And I know Las Rica's mom real well, Jane.
I know you do,
and
Jane.
She's not here tonight. She's at the Rolling Stones concert with my buddy Tim.
The Rolling Stones, 107 years old, still playing.
I'm going tomorrow. I'll be there while you're watching it.
Well, I figured you would.
I know that you and I and Listek went to a Rolling Stones concert once, and some people it's 4th in the County East Mall, Matt wanted to remind us. And I don't think some people thought we ever got home from that concert.
I haven't. I moved.
That looked like a Steve Sanchez line drive from the 70s, and it rolls out of bounds. Antioch's going to have pretty good field position here with 2:29 to go first half.
40-yard line, yeah, Dan. They got plenty of time right here to mix it up. They might gamble a little bit here, but look for them to stay on the ground right now. They had some big-time success on their last drive on running. They had a couple of big breakaways, and they got plenty of time. They got their timeouts left, so look for them to put the ball on the ground and try to move the chains and stop the clock a little bit.
I like the throw right now, though. I'd come out and throw for the first time.
I think I'd run a couple times to see what I got going. Because they haven't stopped the run the last years to see what they're going to do.
You got single coverage out here. Callan, who is single covering the wide receiver, but they hand off to Dixon. And Dixon goes straight up the middle, and he goes nowhere. Good surge that time. Number 88 was there, J.J. Arnold. And Steve is being visited by his endless...
Sam Wills. Samantha.
Oh, that's one of the Wills family.
Yeah, it's one of the Wills. She's my sweetheart. She comes to see me. Hi, Sam.
Is that Bill Wills' daughter?
This is Bill Wills' sister.
His sister. Oh, his sister.
This is Fred's daughter and Kathy Ginocchio's.
Oh, I was going to say, you mean Fred Wills actually helped produce this?
Yes, he did.
Oh, that's hard to believe.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
After this play, I will.
All right, here we go.
Here we go, Dan White. It's there.
It's Brown.
No.
And this time Brown tries to string one out. There's nothing there. It's going to bring up a 3rd and long for Antioch.
Okay, here's a question I have for you. You got Billy Wills. His dad's Fred Wills.
Mm-hmm.
His mom's Kathy Ginocchio.
Right.
A lot of hardware. Where's he going to get his software from?
You?
I talked to him. I tutor him.
I was going to say, I don't know. I didn't know in the family house where that might happen. Oh, boy.
My God, you got a Ginocchio and a Wills.
You need to live on this side of the hill, folks, to understand that. 3rd and 7. Antioch play action. They're throwing for the first time.
There he is.
Loma had a receiver.
He did.
He did not identify him until late, and that was very close.
And that was to James Burke, and he was open early, and he didn't see him. And James had his man beat.
You can't take that long.
No, you can't.
To throw the ball. Loma rolled out, and they only used up 1 minute and 20 seconds, so Ignacio's going to have 1:08 here. It's going to bring up a 4th down. But you could see that it's very tough to run those kind of pass patterns.
Yeah, it really is. But
everyone looked like they were real tentative. The quarterback,
that was kind of like slow motion right there, if you noticed that play. But the one thing I did notice when – oh, look at that. That's the mud ball.
And that's why it's the way that it is out there. Loma was having some trouble with footing, trying to get outside.
Mm-hmm.
It took, when you're out there trying to make a cut, you've got to worry about it. Soares has been the hero for Antioch tonight because, oh, man, and then that should be a late hit right there.
Yeah.
Because number 2 for Ignacio Valley, Jimmy Machado, hit one of the Antioch players
That
well
was
after
Matt
the
Head.
ball. Yeah,
Matt
well after
Head.
the ball was out of bounds, but I don't think the referee saw it. So that's a short. Let's see if we can see this. All right, watch right here.
On the right-hand side. No, that's okay.
That's okay.
That block's okay. That's just a clean block right there.
But
he kind
behind
of
the
pushes
play-
him. Now, you can't see it behind the play. Our camera's not going to pick it up.
And that was that one could have been trouble. But, hey, no harm, no foul. First down for Ygancio Valley at the 35-yard line. 1:02 to go in the first half. Antioch leads 7-0 tonight in what Steve Sanchez has dubbed the Mud Bowl.
It is the Mud Bowl.
They've kind of went away from the traditional toss formation where the tight ends come in and do that little motion move that they like to do. They're almost in more of a traditional power eye as Foster goes up the middle for a couple.
And Beltram and Deal Kochek was in on the tackle right there. Go ahead, Dan.
Guys do a little business before the half. Antioch Chiropractic and Dr. Bill Riston, Golf and Games, S&S Imports, Trident Environmental and Engineering, Antioch Armory, Pantel's Music Box, Bestwick Insurance.
Terry Anello, right there at 7th Street.
Pacific Pride Distribution, Joe's Food and Gas, Skips Copier, Pace Auto Sales, Narrow Road Design, Antioch Opticians, Rock Bottom Records, and Images of 3 Hair Salon. And Steve, on Tuesday, you can get the new Pearl Jam and the new 3 Doors Down record at Rock Bottom
And
Records.
go see Roz, Josh, Camille, and Sharon at Joe's Liquors. They got all kinds of food and liquors and gas.
I'll tell you what, Antioch, their defense, and this is a good thing for Antioch because they've started to assert themselves on defense.
Yes,
they
they
stopped
are.
Foster after another short gain. That's going to do it. That's it, Steve. That's going to run out the clock here in the first half. That was quick. Foster finishes with 98 yards on 15 carries. That's about a 45-minute first half. It's unbelievable. We had 45-minute quarters on television. Give us your impressions of the first half.
Well, Dan, I think that Ygancio Valley really had Antioch up against the ropes on a couple drives. They moved the ball between the 20s very well, got down in the red zone twice, and just didn't let it happen. Antioch's defense, like you said, they bend, but they didn't break. 2 times that happened. They were within the 10-yard line for a touchdown, got turned away twice. Antioch looked like they were going nowhere. All of a sudden, they broke out with one drive, come down in. They're sneaking away with a 7-point lead at halftime, which is huge right now with a field like this.
And they get the ball to start the second half.
half.
Score at halftime from Antioch. Panthers 7, Warriors nothing. We'll be back after this on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible by a generous donation from A&B Creative Trophies. They specialize in awards, Letterman jackets, embroidery, and team trophies. Located on West 6th Street in Antioch. Simply the best selection, price, and service. That's A&B Creative Trophies of Antioch. Mention the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week and receive 5% off your next order. Mazet, Pontiac, Cadillac, Oldsmobile, Buick, and GMC Truck Company on West 10th Street. For over 50 years, Matt Mazet and his courteous, no-pressure sales staff has helped thousands find the right car or truck for their particular budget and needs. That's Mazet's in Antioch, the biggest little auto dealer in the West. Thanks again to all our friends from AT&T Broadband Game of the Week.
Authentic Italian atmosphere.
Rocco's Ristorante.
Room for the whole family.
Rocco's Ristorante.
Pizza, beer, sports.
Rocco's!
Great place for your next team party.
Rocco's.
The best pizza in the East Bay.
Rocco's.
Your table is always ready at Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria at the corner of Oak Grove and Ygancio in Walnut Creek.
Hi, Frankie. It's Christy. Do you want to come over for a swim?
Wow, I'll be right over. What are you doing, Christy?
Oh, hi, Frankie. My oil's really dirty. Will you change it for me?
I thought we were going swimming, though. I guess so.
Gee, thanks. All the stuff's in the garage, but don't make a mess, otherwise my dad will get mad.
Well, I'm done changing your oil and filter. Now I'm going to go to the certified center on the corner and recycle your oil and filter.
You don't need to go through all that trouble, Frankie. I got a much better idea of what to do with the oil and filter. My city has curbside oil and filter recycling. Just seal it up tight and put it on the curb with the other recyclables. Call 1-800-NO-DUMPING for more information, or check out the website at www.funnelhead.com.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible by a generous donation from Lee Holmes Sales, home of the $299 camper shell. With over 250 shells in stock, open 7 days a week, we treat your truck like our own. Delta RC Raceway and Hobby Shop, Northern California's largest radio control racing facility, behind the fairgrounds on 10th Street. Dragon's Lair at Rivertown in downtown Antioch, specializing in stained glass windows, picture framing, collectibles, jewelry, and items for home and garden. Delta Bay Waterproofing, a specialty contractor that specializes in caulking, waterproofing, and coatings throughout the greater Bay Area. Performance Chiropractic and Rehabilitation Center in Concord, Clayton Valley Sports Injury Specialist. Auto Industrial and General Injury Care on Treat Boulevard in Concord. Communication Buildings of America, local manufacturers of portable communication shelters, general contractors, metal fabrications, and custom fiberglass in downtown Antioch. Thanks again to all our friends from the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week.
Here, make a wish.
He loves me.
Will you marry me?
Be my wedded wife.
Jory's Flowers, 2 locations in Walnut Creek and Concord. Call now and receive $10 off your next order. Minimum order $35 plus tax and delivery. Jory's Flowers. What do you want your flowers to say?
Steve, there's a nice shot of the pond just outside the field here at Antioch High School
Yes,
tonight.
it is.
Antioch 7, Ignacio Valley nothing tonight. And it's kind of sad in a way, Steve, because this could have been a feature game. I think a little bit of the luster has wore off because of the field, because of the weather, but both teams still putting out a great effort. And let's take a look at the first half's highlights here. As there weren't a lot because there was just a lot of running going on here, and Antioch broke out here. This is the big run, and you can see the rain coming down by Charles Brown that really got Antioch moving.
And right here, there's Billy Wills opened up a block, pushing a guy into another guy. Real nice push from behind by Billy. He got away with it. And right here, here's Brown, and they were having nothing doing until this play right here, Dan. They were stuck in neutral, and right there, Straighten makes a good block, and from behind, number 17,
Jimmy Warren.
Jimmy Warren comes from behind and tackles him, but that got Antioch off to the races, and I think it got their confidence up on their offense right there.
And then this is the touchdown, the only score so far here in the first half. T. Dixon just straight up the middle, a nice burst.
Yeah, right here. And Anthony Borelli right here, real good play calling. And he, had like Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside, kind of like, was those the four horsemen from Notre Dame? Well, no, that was Blanchard and Doc.
You're messing it all up.
Am I?
Yeah.
Whatever, okay.
In the first half, here's the stats. Antioch with 123 total, we have them with 123 yards. Okay, we just changed it. It should be 123 to 108 for Antioch. And it's all on the ground. There has been no passes complete in tonight's game, only 3 attempted. Penalties really haven't hurt anyone but Antioch on that one drive. The one turnover didn't hurt Ignacio Valley. So really, those 2 plays we just showed you are the difference in tonight's ball game. Individually, Castile only 18 yards rushing for Antioch. Brown's been the horse with 82. Dixon has 22 with a touchdown. And for Ignacio Valley, Kyle Foster having a great game with 98 yards.
And most of that came, Dan, in the first quarter when Ignacio Valley was really eating up in between the 20s, Dan, and they just got shot in the foot right down there inside the red zone 2 times. But it should be a good game. I think 14 points might win this game with the way this field is.
I don't think it's over yet, though.
No.
7-0 Antioch at halftime. We'll be back with the third quarter after this on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible by a generous donation from Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems and stadium-style seating. Catch the back-to-school movie special at their Pittsburgh location with rolled-back admission prices and a free concession coupon each week on the Brendan Pittsburgh website page. And RSC Rental Service Corporation in Martinez. RSC offers a wide variety of equipment specific to the petrochemical industry, as well as the general contractor and homeowner. We deliver straight to the site and have a fully trained staff of mechanics and office personnel to fit every need. That's Rental Service Corporation, 4030 Pacheco Boulevard in Martinez. Thanks again to all our friends from the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week.
Hey, get me out of here! Help! Help! Help!
Wow. A filter that talks.
Wow, a human that doesn't know throwing an oil filter in the garbage can will pollute our landfills and our environment.
I've got a better plan for the future of Mr. Filter. After changing your oil and filter, place the filter in a sealed plastic bag. Make sure it doesn't leak, and take it to a certified used oil and filter collection center. They will then properly dispose of Mr. Filter in an environmentally friendly way.
Hey, wait a second. Don't close that door. Don't close it. Whoa!
Recycle your used oil filters for a cleaner future. For more information, call 1-800-NO-DUMPING or check out my website at www.funnelhead.com.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible by a generous donation from Fine Things, Italian charm bracelets, Yankee Candle, Willow Tree Angels, and beautiful gifts. Wonderful cards in downtown Antioch. Aladino's Pizza, located on Sunset Drive, right off the Hillcrest exit. Aladino's Pizza has big screen satellite TV for all the big sporting events. Antioch's finest pizzeria. American Plumbing, your plumbing specialist on G Street in downtown Antioch. Sales, repairs, and emergency service. That's American Plumbing, serving East and Central Contra Costa County. Straight Line Builders, specializing in room additions, add-ons, and fencing. Let Jim Carey, a licensed general contractor, do the job right the first time. The new Mecca Cafe on Railroad Avenue in downtown Pittsburgh, serving Contra Costa and beyond for over 30 years. Eat in or order to go. Guillermo and his crew cook with pride. Furtado Heating and Air, sheet metal fabrication for your residential, commercial, and industrial needs on West 10th Street in Antioch. Thanks again to all our friends from the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week.
Look at her, man. You're right. You don't stand a chance. I'll be right back.
Jory's Flowers 24-hour phone service 7 days a week. Call 1-888-400-ROSE.
These are gorgeous.
Would you like to go out sometime?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Hi. Can I get those right over there?
Yeah, those right there.
Jory's Flowers. What do you want your flowers to say?
And you know, Steve, if they would have had Jory's Flowers when you were going out, you would have went out on more dates because you probably could have got some girls with flowers.
No, I just used my gun and it never failed.
Antioch leads 7-0 tonight on Ignite. Oh, boy. Oh, we've had fun with you gone, Sanchez.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Let's talk about next week, Steve. Hopefully it won't be a quagmire at Monte Vista High School. The San Ramon Valley Wolves, 8-1 on the season. Hopefully, they could be 8-1 after tonight's game. And Monte Vista should be 9-0 going into that game. San Ramon could still tie for the EBAL lead if they win that game. Monte Vista with Kyle Wright, San Ramon with Sam Keller.
Boy, I tell you, Dan, what a way. Now, obviously, these two schools are going to go on into the playoffs, so it's not going to be their final game. But what a way to end up the regular season. These two great quarterbacks that we had the opportunity to see through their whole career right here in the East Bay. And, boy, I tell you, Kyle, he's going to Florida, and Sam Keller to Michigan. And
Miami of Florida.
Miami in Florida.
Right. It's in Florida. Yeah,
because
Miami
there is a Florida State in Florida. I got to be careful of that. But the point is, Dan, that's going to be a great game. And
there's also a Miami of Ohio.
There is that.
Okay, just so you know. There's also an Ohio State. Anyway, that's enough from you, Sanchez. All right, and then on next week also, Antioch and Pittsburgh, the big little game. It's the 83rd or 84th. I don't know. The only guy that knows that's Jackson. He's been to all 83. It's in East County next Saturday and Sunday at 7. In Central County next Saturday at 7, Sunday at 4. Should be a great one. And Brian Robinson brings the Pirates over here to try to win the championship if they win tonight.
If they win tonight. Just so you know, it's the 84th big game.
84th.
Big little game.
Here comes, man. That boy is huge.
Well, you know what? They wanted, Dan, that's how I was going to sneak in here. But I figured, what
Halloween ended for you, Sanchez.
Yeah.
The West Coast Jamboree, the third annual, 56 teams coming into East County over Christmas. 13 teams from Contra Costa County, 2 teams from San Diego, 1 St. Bernard Playa del Rey, very good team. St. Mary's of Stockton, number 26 in the nation.
That's right.
St. Mary's Academy from New Orleans, teams from Reno, Nevada, Forest Lake Christian. They have a 6'9" center sophomore. Deer Valley, Pittsburgh, Freedom, Clayton Valley, Ignacio Valley, Carondelet are the host teams. Dave Jackson's running the whole thing. Make sure to check the newspaper over the Christmas holiday for the West Coast Jamboree. Purchase your copy of the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week, a great memory to look back on today and into the future. $25 per tape. Call 933-6264. Ask for Metal Matt, who's probably getting ready a new CC Rock, and we do have a new one coming up right after tonight's game in the East County area, not in the East County, but in Central County, and over here on Friday nights at 8 o'clock. And it's featuring one of his favorite bands, the Scorpions. And let's see if Matt can get this graphic up for us.
And you know what? I've been watching Metal Matt wipe it off. He does a pretty good job.
Metal Matt does a good job.
Metal Matt is very good at music.
There
Look at these guys.
The Scorpions.
Dan Wall in 73. Who's that, Dan? That's Steve
That's Rudolph Schenker. You know what he told me last time I saw him?
What?
He said, "Hey, Don, I remember you from San Francisco." Yes, I do. That's what he said.
Well, you know all them guys.
I do know the Scorpions.
I know you know the Scorpions, and you also know Twisted Sister. I know you're good friends with
Dee Snider. Yeah.
Dee Snider, and the one guys you can't talk about. They had to change their name because of the stuff.
Yeah, I got to tell you a Scorpion story. Okay. Back when I was writing for the Antioch Ledger.
Okay.
And as we're actually having some time out here, which is very nice. Tim Cicchini, my buddy, I was telling you, I was over at my house.
Tim.
The phone rang, right?
Right.
And my brother answered the phone and he said, "Dan, it's Herman." And Tim goes, "Yeah, what, Herman Rarebill from the Scorpions?" It was Herman Rarebill from the Scorpions.
Well, there you go. That's what.
And Tim gets on the phone and goes, "This isn't Herman Rarebill." He goes, "Hello, this is Herman Rarebill."
I remember when you were doing that, there wasn't too many people liked you because you weren't very nice. You were a tough critic, from what I understood.
What? Yeah, jeez.
You weren't?
No.
You're a nice guy?
Ever since you sobered up, you've been able to understand what I did. But back in those
Dan,
days,
you know what? I'm giving you a bad time. I can't even kid you. You did a very good job. You should listen to all your articles, and you're still going to shows, and you have no kids. It's obvious.
That's true.
That's true.
Selena has me.
Selena has you, and
I'm going
you're
to
the big
4
enough
concerts in the next week.
Oh, my God. The last concert I went to was Santana, and I was selling popcorn for the high school there.
That's because Carlos saw you on the guest list.
That's right.
And said, I'm not going to play if Steve Sanchez comes in.
And let me tell you something. They didn't make a whole lot of money in that popcorn machine that night. And the following week, I did the popcorn again. They caught on to me. I get to see the Moody Blues for free. Like I'm there for the popcorn thing.
No wonder. My wife said, go get me some popcorn. There was none left. It was gone.
It was gone. Okay, Dan, well, we get ready to start the second half.
We're having a little bit of fun, and we're trying to prove to everyone because you're back. Because, Callum, he's as serious as a heart attack.
Well, you got to have a little fun up here. And me and you, when we were growing up, we always had fun, and that's the reason I'm doing that. We have fun. But here's some Antioch Panthers young kids who are braving the weather, the cheerleading squad. Did you see what you said, Dan? They have the plastic on them and stuff, and the rain's kind of set a little bit, but the field's a mess.
I tell you, not a lot of people braved it tonight. I was talking to Louis Rocha last week, and he expected a big crowd for tonight's game, and unfortunately the weather has kept a lot of people home. But you can watch the game tomorrow night on AT&T Broadband, a community service that we're out here providing to you.
And you can look in the paper and the Contra Costa Times at 7 o'clock. It's got it listed at 7 o'clock on Saturday and 7 o'clock on Sunday.
Antioch last week beat their arch rival Deer Valley 37-14. Then they have to turn around and play this game, and then they turn around and play the other arch rival Pittsburgh next week. That was Brent Castile, who you saw. This is our first look at Rocky Gagliotti, the kicker for Ignacio Valley, straightening Castile deep. Second half is underway from Antioch, and this is a short kick. It's going to come down.
Let it go, let it go, let it go.
Straighten actually picks it up. Oh, it's a good thing that ball went out of bounds because Straighten was going to be tackled.
Well, he should throw a flag if it's out of bounds, Dan. He's reaching in his pocket. Hold on.
He had it out.
Oh, okay.
You know what? I think he's marking it straight and stepped out of bounds with the ball. This is going to put Antioch in a hole. The AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzerias. You hear the Scorpions in the background. Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh. Jory's Flowers of Concord and Walnut Creek. And the Contra Costa Clean Water Program and Mr. Funnelhead. Remember, it's free, easy, and cool to recycle used oil and filters.
Antioch comes out with a mistake starting out right there, Dan. They should have let that ball go on right there.
Man, they're in a world of hurt at the 10-yard line. Handoff on first down to Castile. Castile with just 18 yards in the first half, and I don't think he got much more than one on that play. Forced out of bounds far sideline. Number 40 was over there for Ignacio Valley, Yader Pastora.
And Yader played there last year because I remember I couldn't say his name last year either.
Now watch this. Let's see if we can see this.
Now see right here. You're looking at it. You know it's going to go out. Right here, you know it's going to go out. Let it go. But he just picks it up.
Yeah, he stepped
You
down.
know, and that's a mistake right there. That's a special teams mistake, and that puts you back in a hole. And if Ignacio Valley can hold you, they're going to play with a half a field the first time they get the ball.
Well, Antioch could have had the ball at the 35-yard line to start off. They start out at the 10. Second down, handoff. This is Dixon just busted straight up the middle for about 5. It's going to bring up a third down.
Now, if they pick up this first down, all bets are off. You know what I mean? You can move the clock and get yourself a little bit of room, but this is a big third down play early in the second half, Dan.
Third, about 6.
Antioch 5-3 on the year, Steve. They lost to Monte Vista opening week, beat Granada, which was a big win for them, beat California, lost to Foothill, lost to Liberty, and they've won 3 in a row, beating Freedom, Clayton Valley, and Deer Valley, and hoping to make the playoffs this year in the 4A division. Handoff to Brown, and Brown tries to get outside, and there's nothing there.
No, they're going to have to give the ball up.
Antioch's going to have to punt inside their 20 here as we just started the third quarter.
And one thing, Dan, about that schedule, if you look at it, I think it's going to help Antioch, especially if they get close to on the bubble, because they played a number 3 team in Monte Vista. They played a number 5 team in Foothill, correct? So that's got to help them. I mean,
the Liberty loss is the one that's killing them.
Yeah, but you know what? They lost the Liberty game, and then they got a gift from Freedom. So, you know, that all worked out in the wash.
That's true. That Freedom game was one of the craziest endings in the history of high school football. We went over that one 2 weeks ago when we did the De La Salle game. Soares to punt.
I think you're going to wipe the football off here, Dan. They got a request from the center.
Yeah, that's long snapper is number 52, James Gray.
And let's see how Soares does on this. He's been a pretty good weapon for Antioch.
Actually, I take that back. It's 62 to Benny. Here's Soares with the kick.
Another good one.
Good straight kick to Rockwell right at midfield. Rockwell has a lane, and Rockwell back to the 40, and there's a penalty, and this is going to set us back here on that first play, the first punt return of the third quarter for Ignacio. Steve, we got a special feature for you tonight as we go into this. The 5 rejected nicknames. We're going to tell you that it's Brent the Real Deal Castile.
Okay.
Here's 5 rejected nicknames for Brent Castile. Number 5, now we know how De La Salle feels. Number 4, don't let him step on a banana peel.
Okay.
Number 3, I couldn't think of anything else. Hot Wheels. That I didn't like that one.
Okay.
Number 2, make sure he gets 3 square meals.
Mm-hmm.
And the number 1 rejected Brent, the Real Deal Castile nickname. Thank God he's not in teal.
Okay.
And for those of you in the know, you will know that he almost went to Deer Valley, and
Yes.
that's why Antioch is thanking God he's not in teal.
That's right, and he was there.
The Real Deal, Brent Castile. And, of course, Evander Holyfield, I believe, wasn't he the Real Deal, Steve?
He was the real deal.
This is the Real Deal Part 2.
This is Little
Deal.
Little Deal. This is Little Deal. Little Real Deal.
Little Rod, Real Deal.
Little me.
Back to the hot potato pitch. That was Foster, and Foster ahead for a couple. The jerseys are getting dirtier, especially the white ones.
That was Kuchek Deal and
or Deal
Richard Bilter?
Kuchek.
Deal Kuchek?
Yeah.
Steve. I know him. I know him as Steve.
That's how a lot of people know you as.
Yeah,
too.
they call me Steve.
Foster back to 100 yards. He had lost a number of yards on the last couple of carries.
Yeah.
You know, but Ignacio Valley with 9:18 to go, third quarter, down 7-0. It could take them 4 or 5 minutes to get to the end zone the way they run this offense.
That's right.
Coach Ivankovich taken over a couple of years ago over at Ignacio Valley. Went to school there, as we mentioned, graduated in 1987. His second year as head coach of the Warriors.
Taking over for Coach Murphy.
Inside handoff. This is a new number. That's Machado for the first time, and Machado gets 3. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 5. Antioch's defense has really stiffened, though, since they scored.
They really have, Dan, and they've really stiffened from the second quarter on. The first quarter, Ignacio Valley really controlled the line of scrimmage, both the right side of Ignacio Valley with Farrell and
Patolo,
thank you, and Burnett and Laxton on the other side. In the center, I would try to say his name. Let me try it. Jose
Gorgonio.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
You know, oh boy. 3rd and 5. Steve, you do have problems, and we could see the English lab where you learned how to talk.
Well, you know what, Dan? I never said I didn't have problems.
Oh, play action, and that was a broken play, and a great play as number 2 T. Dixon came in to sack Hannigan, and it's going to bring up a 4th down. Antioch's defense,
the ball over.
Antioch's defense is really playing well here over the last half of the second quarter.
Look, and you know what, Dan? There was nobody on the right side to contain him. That's a great job by Dixon, because if Dixon doesn't fall for that fake right there, he's got all day to run. So that's a great play by Dixon. That's something you don't see very often, is that plays in that turn out that way that really help you. Go ahead, Dan. What are you
I
saying?
was just going to say that they've really played well over the end of the second quarter and into the third quarter on defense. A second punt for Ignacio Valley. This is Kyle Foster, and a bad snap, and he gets the kickoff.
Beautiful kick.
Antioch would be, what is Straighten doing? Ferris must be having a heart attack in that kind of weather, but he caught it. But, I mean, man, Straighten came up with about 4 Ignacio Valley guys around him and made that catch.
I'll tell you what gave Ferris a heart attack the other day, too. He's at practice. Cop pulls up, comes walking up and says, "Do you have a kid named Aaron Straighten here?" And Ferris about fell over.
25-yard kick, no return.
And there's a good shot of Ferris Anthony. And
I hope that was just an innocent.
It was.
Yeah,
it was something to do with somebody else. It had nothing to do with them. But what a great job Ferris does here. What a great motivator, and the kids love him.
He's a great motivator, too, by the way.
Did I say motivator?
Motivator, yeah.
Whatever.
That's when he tries to get his son.
I'm a little rusty, Dan.
Brown, and I'll tell you.
Look at this. Look at this kid.
Well, that was good. A good power move there as a number of Warriors, a tribe
of Warriors. Very good, Dan.
Pack of Panthers, tribe of Warriors tonight as Brown gets about 4. Here's another look at it.
Let's watch this replay right here. Here's Billy Wills. He contains the end right there. Dabini, he does a good job. But right here, look at this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 yards on his own. Just pure muscle.
And 5, Ignacio Valley Warriors. 17, Warren was there on top.
That looked like me going to the refrigerator with my son, Jason, and my daughters hold me, go, "Don't do it, Dad. You've had enough."
Like Drabble?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get as big as Chris Farley.
2nd and 7. Dixon, power right inside. Number 40, Pastor was there. And Dixon straight ahead.
He got about an extra 5 yards, but you thought in that pack, and all of a sudden, he's a great kid too, T. Dixon.
That might be the difference, is a guy like Dixon who can just grind out some yardage, because Ignacio Valley doesn't really have that kind of grinder.
And Dan, he picked up a first down on that. It looked like he was about 5 yards short, and all of a sudden he just shot out of that pack. Boy, this is a big drive for Antioch right here.
Well, and it's amazing, too, when you look back. Castile had 131 yards against Granada. He had a 91-yard kickoff return against California. And the last 4 weeks, he had 233 yards, 210, 242, and last week 176, all total yards. and he's just a junior. He'll be back next year. And here is Brent Castile, and this looks like the first time Castile's going to have a little bit of field to work with tonight, and Castile finally breaks loose for a gain of 11 and a first down for Antioch, brought down by number 33, Tim Callan.
And what I liked about that, Dan, was a very smart run on his part. After he got, let's watch him after about 8 yards right here, Dan. They're going on the right-hand side of Joe Bikini on that side and Luna on that side. Watch him right here protect the ball, Dan. He knows he feels the heat. Watch his other hand come over. And right there, he just protects it right there at the end. Good job.
The ball's at the 49-yard line of Ygancio Valley. Exactly 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. Antioch holding on to a 7-0 lead tonight as we're 1 week away from the end of the high school football season. Antioch trying to get into the playoffs. And Steve, after this run, I want to tell you, as that was I think that was Lontavius Johnson for the. No, that was Castile. Okay.
It was Castile.
Castile's jersey is kind of bunched up. There it is. If Antioch wins outright, it'll be the first time in 18 years that the Antioch Panthers have won the BVL championship. I don't even know if there was a BVL the last time they won it. Dave Jackson's going to say something. Jeff's senior, his son's senior year was the last time Antioch won. It would be the first time in 18 seasons that Antioch has won an outright championship.
Well, I'll sleep better tonight knowing that. That's great. That's great to know, Jackson. Thank you very much. Send your kid a card at
Second
Folsom
and 4.
State Prison for me. Tell them I'm thinking about him.
They fake a reverse and then a handoff inside. That was the second back. That was Brown. And Brown gets a couple. Going to bring up a big third down play here.
Mm-hmm. Don't be surprised, Dan, if this is not four down territory for Ferris Anthony on this side of the field right now. He's got to start feeling good about his running game right here. Is that even if he doesn't get it here, I think, well, if he gets a couple yards here, this will determine if he goes or not. Depends on this play right here. If he's within a couple yards, I expect Ferris to go.
By the way, someone asked me about Ygancio Valley. This is their last league game because they play De La Salle next week. And that they feel they have to win this game to get a playoff berth because obviously next week it's going to take a minor miracle to get a victory. 3rd and 5. That's Castile in motion. Handoff to Dixon, and Dixon just Mike Allstotts it for 4 yards. It's going to bring up 4th and 1, and just like you said, this is a good spot for Antioch to go for it on 4th down.
I think you'll see Ferris go for it right here.
4:17 clock running here in the third quarter. Antioch ahead 7-0 tonight on AT&T Broadband. It is Steve Sanchez back in the booth for all of you that are rushing to your guides and to check the police blotter and the police reports. By the way, Steve, what were the details of your work release?
Well, what they told me is that I can't go to 7-Elevens no more after midnight.
Something else about Slurpees?
I can't buy ice creams from no more In-N-Out burgers, as you can see.
And Krispy Kreme.
And Krispy Kreme right next door to me. That's like,
timeout on the field. Antioch calls timeout. This is a big play for them with 3:40 to go.
Let's do some friends.
As you take a look at Joey Loma, some additional sponsors, Fine Things, Aladino's Pizza, American Plumbing, Straight Line Builders, the New Mecca Cafe for Tato Heating and Air, Lee Home Sales, Delta RC Raceway and Hobby Shop, Dragon's Lair at Rivertown, Delta Bay Waterproofing, Performance Chiropractic, and Communication Buildings of America. Steve, tell us about Communication Buildings of America.
Well, Dan, what they do is they make these buildings for you, and they'll deliver them right to your work site and anything you want. And they got air conditioning stuff, and they pull them right up, and you have a building that could add on to any kind of work site that you belong to or any kind of complex that you want, and they do a very good job.
Purchase your copy of the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. It's a great memory to look back on today and into the future. $25 per tape. Call 933-6264. Ask for Metal Matt.
And I recommend you get the games that I didn't do. Is if you get Clay and Al Anthony, you'll like them better.
Clay's actually going to be back for Monte Vista San Ramon. Steve is going to work the sideline next week
in
a revamped announcing. Here's the rest of our schedule. Next week, San Ramon at Monte Vista, Pittsburgh at Antioch, and then the playoffs the following 3 weeks after that. And, there's a very good possibility that De La Salle could end up playing either Pittsburgh or Antioch in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Dave Jackson's trying to talk to me, and I have no idea what he's saying.
Whenever there's a moment of silence up here, that means Jackson is trying to get a point across, and usually it's kind of like
Antioch in the with two backs in the eye here on 4th down, and a handoff to Castile, and I don't think he got there.
Well, they're going to have to mark it. So this guy here is going to mark it.
He didn't get it.
Let's see where he marks it.
And we said all along that you couldn't bring him down with one tackler.
Let's see where they put the ball down.
They brought him down. Let's take a look at this again on the replay. Watch this. He didn't get it.
Let's see where he puts the ball at, Dan.
You know who made the play there? Number 17, Jimmy Warren. He
Warren
made two big plays.
Yeah, he
for them.
shot in. I like to see where they sit this ball at right here.
No, it's Ignacio's ball. They were about a half a yard short.
You know what, Dan? I don't know. They're going to have to measure this thing.
They've already moved the chains.
They moved it. Oh, okay.
It's already done. Ignacio Valley takes over at the 40-yard line with 3:35 to go.
Big play this time of the game right here. Good job by Ignacio's defense. Warren did a great job of penetrating right there.
Third quarter, 3:35 to go. Antioch up by 7. Pitch this time to Foster. Foster has a couple of guys out leading, but there's another great play by T. Dixon. T. Dixon has really taken over as a linebacker. He's playing linebacker. They have him lined up as a defensive end in this 5-4 package. Daniel Zuniga.
Zuniga was in on it, too. He pursued very well. And, boy, that's a loss of about 6 yards. Boy, that's something. And, see, Dan, the one thing about this offense, even if you're down, okay, and you need a quick score, if you're going to score, it's going to take 7 or 8 minutes to get a touchdown.
95 yards for Foster. Now, he's kind of went back and forth between 195 and 98 and 102 because he's lost yardage. That's a loss of 5, 2nd and 15 from the 35. And they have yet, Ignacio's always good for one long pass that works, and they haven't done it yet. Now they're back in that traditional toss offense where we might see the hot potato pitch.
And there's a ball on the ground.
Ball's on the ground. A scramble for it.
Antioch's got it. Antioch's got that ball, Dan.
This could be the turning point for Antioch.
Antioch's got it.
Well, they sure look like they do, and they do. The Panthers recover at the 34-yard line, and if they can score right here, Steve, this could really turn the game around.
Oh, it really could. Not only turn the game around, Dan, this to score 14 points for that offense and the way Antioch's defense has really been coming on, that's a big-time turnover right there. That's just, Ignacio Valley is just really kind of, let's watch it right here. Let's see if he ever had control of it, Dan. You know what? He never had it. He pulled out of the center with it, and I don't know if his pulling guard hit it.
You know what? That offense takes precision.
Right.
And no knock on Ignacio Valley and these kids. They've actually come back from a bad start. They lost their first 2 games, but they don't run this as well as the team did last year and the year before, and those teams were very, very,
nice
very
move
good.
by Brown.
Brown gets outside, knocked out of bounds by Callan at the 27-yard line. And like I said, Steve, I'm not saying that these guys aren't good. They've actually had some success with it, but you have to be precise with that offense.
Look at the turnovers. Warriors got 2, Panthers got none. Can we see a replay of that again, Matt? I don't know if Matt can get that on the replay for us. I want to make a point right here, Dan. If we can show the speed right here. When you have speed, a lot of people will tell you, they just did too much arm tackling. But when you have speed, the last thing you put out your arm.
Watch
it right here. Now watch this. Now watch this arm come out with his speed right here. And it's just, he's gone. He's by you.
Back to live action. Dixon straight up the middle, still on his feet. And he has, it looks to appear to be a first down inside the 25. Warren was there again to make the tackle with a number of the Ignacio Valley defenders. Yep, Jimmy Warren was there, and I believe Pastora was there as well. Pastora's uniform is just these guys are going to have a heck of a bus ride back.
Yeah, you know what, Dan, but I'll tell you what. Here's the replay right here. And here he is. Here's T. Dixon just holding on to the ball, power running. He's only a junior. He'll be back.
T. Dixon played a lot as a sophomore.
One thing about playing in a game like this as players, you love playing and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun, but it's just it's frustrating, but it's fun.
First down. Handoff to the second back through. I believe that was Castile. It was. Or was that Dixon?
That's 2. That was T. Dixon.
It was Dixon again.
He's got to start piling up a few numbers here. Let's see if Jackson can give us some stats on T. Dixon. Hey, Jackson, wake up.
I can get 7 carries for 41 yards. Usually it's me you pick on, but you've targeted Dave Jackson tonight.
Because I watched the replays, and I figured, you're too good to pick on. I ain't good. Jackson, but come on, I could get him.
Loma's only attempted 1 pass tonight.
Dave knows I love him, man. That's why I pick on him. That's why you pick on me.
2nd and 8. Pitch. This is Castile. Castile has a hole, breaks a tackle, but only gets about 4. And he just hasn't had that lane. I'll tell you a story, Steve. Last week when I first pulled up to the Deer Valley game, I see the pitch to Castile as I'm going into the stadium.
Right.
And I see like the whole package of Brent Castile in this one run.
Right.
He cut across, went across the field, dodged 3 guys, knocked one over, and then tiptoed into the end zone.
I know, the guys. He's unbelievable. It's too sad. It's too bad that we didn't have a fast field to really show you his speed. He hasn't really been able to show you your speed here. This may be something where Antioch, what they might do here, Dan. Oh, the end of the third quarter. Go ahead, Dan.
This game is flying by, folks. It's probably the quickest game we've ever brought. watching. And Steve, you couldn't even get your point across on that one.
No, but you know I will.
Yes, you will. End of the third quarter. Antioch 7, Ignacio Valley nothing. We'll be back to bring you the fourth quarter here on AT&T Broadband after this.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible by a generous donation from A&B Creative Trophies. They specialize in awards, Letterman jackets, embroidery, and team trophies. Located on West 6th Street in Antioch. Simply the best selection, price, and service. That's A&B Creative Trophies of Antioch. Mention the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week and receive 5% off your next order. Mazzei, Pontiac, Cadillac, Oldsmobile, Buick, and GMC Truck Company on West 10th Street. For over 50 years, Matt Mazzei and his courteous, no-pressure sales staff has helped thousands find the right car or truck for their particular budget and needs. That's Mazzei's in Antioch, the biggest little auto dealer in the West. Thanks again to all our friends from AT&T Broadband Game of the Week.
Authentic Italian atmosphere.
Rocco's Ristorante.
Room for the whole family.
Rocco's Ristorante.
Pizza, beer, sports.
Rocco's!
Great place for your next team party.
Rocco's.
The best pizza in the East Bay.
Rocco's.
Your table is always ready at Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria at the corner of Oak Grove and Ygancio in Walnut Creek.
A T. Dixon 8-yard run is the only touchdown of the game as Antioch leads 7-0 heading to the fourth quarter. Dan Wall and Steve Sanchez with our great crew and Matt Bollender down in the truck. And I'll tell you, Steve, we kind of had a feeling it was going to be like this.
Yes.
It pretty much has been what we've expected. Turnovers have cost the Warriors, and Antioch is capitalizing here on this drive as they face a 3rd and 3 to start the fourth quarter. Here's a pitch to Castile. And he just has not been able to get outside at all in this game.
That's going to be close, Dan, right there.
You got to give credit to the Ignacio Valley defense.
Oh, yes.
They have bottled up Castile.
You know what?
And Dixon and Brown have really carried the offense for Tony Borelli tonight.
And you know what the thing about it is, Dan, and there goes James Burke on the way into the field right there, number 19. Mike is a good friend of mine. His mom, Lisa, very good friend of mine. He's a good kid. My point is this, Dan, they got 4th down here. If they kick a field goal, it's almost like 2 scores. I mean, it's huge. But they're going to go right here.
It's going to be, right now, it'd be a 33-yard field goal. And Soares, though, of course, had the big field goal, the second chance field goal, kind of like Jose Cortez against Freedom.
Right.
4th and 1. Antioch's going to go for it here. They were stopped the last time. Handoff. That's Castile. This time Castile gets the first down.
Yes, he does.
He made a good cut that time. What they did is they strung out the line. He was able to pick his hole, and he got a first down.
And look at his uniform. It's just right in a mud hole there. Boy, he's just really got mud all over him. Look at him, his face. One thing about this kid right there, Dan, he showed you what a great back he is on that play right there. That was pure determination and hustle on his part to get that extra 2 yards to move the chains. Antioch right here, if they come in and score, is pretty much that's going to be tough for YV.
That's a great camera shot there, showing him getting his face kind of cleaned off because he can't see. The ball's at the 11-yard line. Antioch can get a first down at the 1. 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Here early in the fourth quarter, they lead by 7. This is a handoff. And there's a great shot. If I could get off these guys, I could tell you who they are. That's easy. Lontavius Johnson ran the ball. Bill Siu and Zach Rockwell made the tackle.
Yes, they did. And Rockwell, boy, he's a good player, ain't he, Dan?
Zach Rockwell's always been a good athlete for for the Ignacio Valley Warriors. Ignacio Valley knew this was going to be a battle tonight. And
here it is, the replay right there. There's Brown sealing the outside. Watch the beanie right here. He does a good job.
Also, Pastora came over and made a hit
there's
there.
Burke laying on top of somebody right there.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5 for Antioch. The ball's at the 6-yard line. That's Brown in motion. They're going to run this is scary, the option down here, and Loma gets hammered by Pastora. It's going to bring up a 3rd down. That's a scary play to run in this weather with this kind of field, because if you throw that ball and it just comes off the fingertips of your trailing runner or it's missed, it could be a turnover. And, I don't think they'll run that one too many times today.
No, because right there you could have a problem up the middle right there. Right here he could have pitched it. There's the beanie out there.
This is going to bring up a 3rd and 3. The ball's at the 4-yard line. Antioch trying to go up by 2 touchdowns here in a very tight game. And there's a fumble, and the ball's on the ground, and it's still on the ground, and I think Ignacio has it.
He should have just fell on it right there, and he tried to pick it up.
I think Ignacio Valley has that. There's a good picture of the scrum going on in there. I think that was Johnson, and he fumbled, and as you said, Steve, he should have just fallen on the ball.
I think they're going to give it to Antioch, Dan, because it looks like they're tied up together. See if he puts his hands up for the down. Fourth down,
yeah, Antioch's ball. It was, I guess Lontavius got it back. Let's take a look at it.
He really lucked out right here because, and this is what you were talking about earlier, and right here he should have just went down on it, but you can see he's trying to pick it up, and right there, oh boy, how he didn't. How it was, you know who it was? Dabini, 64, I think, got that. No.
64 is Ross Hudgens.
Hudgens got that ball, yeah.
9:23 to go. They're going to bring Soares in to try the field goal. This is, man, I'll tell you, some scary times for Antioch.
Yeah.
They're going to set this down at the 24-yard line, a 34-yard attempt for Jason Soares.
He's got to see if he keeps his foot planted.
Soares, the kick is up, and that does it. It would have been good if it would have been 2 feet higher.
Yeah.
But it's no good, and Ignacio Valley is going to take over at the 20-yard line with 9:03 to go. I'll tell you, Steve, I don't think this one's over yet for some reason.
Not by a long shot. That was a big mishap for them right there, letting that ball get kicked back, because if they were where they're at and they got held, it'd have been like a chip shot. He probably could have made it. Watch this right here, Dan. He just doesn't get it enough airbound. He's right on line.
Oh,
he just misses. This is a little bit under. And like I said, not turnover, but that mishap they had right there cost him 3 points.
First down at the 20-yard line for the Warriors, trailing 7-0. They need to go 80 yards to tie this one up. Here's Foster, first down. Foster has been bottled up since late in the second quarter, and he's tackled after a gain of 2 on that play, Steve. And Antioch's defense has really come to play tonight.
You know what? Both of these defenses have done a good job. You're looking at Antioch's offense, one of the highest offense in the whole BVAL, Dan. Well, what do they average a game, Dan? I know you got that stat somewhere.
It's right here.
But
390 yards.
390 yards they average a game. Now, this field, you got all bets are off. What's going on? But they've done a very good job at holding.
Well, here, I'll tell you how good they've done on Foster. After 9 carries, he had 95 yards. In his last 9 carries, he's gained a total of 2 net yards. 97 yards for Foster tonight. 2nd and 8. Ignacio Valley, once again, that's Foster in motion. They hand off to Foster. No, they didn't hand off to Foster, and if they'd handed off to Foster, he might have went a long way.
He could have got me and you a shrimp cocktail at the Riverview Lodge while we were sitting here
They
waiting
handed
for
off to Wynn, and Wynn got a couple. It's going to bring up a 3rd and about 5, because that was one of those plays where they did a bunch of fakes, and there was no one there. The AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is brought to you by great friends of the program, A&B Creative Trophies in Antioch, Mazet Pontiac in Antioch, and RSC Rental Service Corporation in Martinez.
Big play.
And 5. Huge play here for Antioch with 7:42 to go in the ball game. Panthers lead by 7. They run the same play. They put the ball on the ground. There's a big scrum. Antioch says they have it, but then again, we've noticed this year that the defensive team always think that they have the fumble.
Yeah. The last time I thought Antioch had it, because I've seen 6 guys around the ball. And I'm a homeboy.
That's true. I do not think Antioch recovered because
because they're already
not
putting
going
up 4th
crazy.
down.
Yep, they're not going crazy. So Ignacio gets the ball back. It's going to bring up a 4th down.
But I think they're going to have to punt here, Dan. I don't think there's no decision. And this far of the field, this late in the game. But they're huddling about something, Dan, and here comes.
Well, I think they want to know why the clock's running. The clock has been running since the end of this play. And now they're going to signal it down. The Ignacio Valley coaches were going crazy because the clock they've ran off about 30 seconds. Let's take another look at it, Steve, here while we have an opportunity. But I'll tell you, this is just a treacherous field out here tonight.
Yep. And then he's just not getting the exchange, Dan. And then there it is on the replay right there.
You know, Steve, I had written down the guys that Ignacio lost, and I just wanted to mention some of these guys that we saw last year. Paul Gutierrez, Mike Pasquale, Dante Smith, and Spike Mosier. You remember Spike?
Spike, great guy.
Some of the great players from Ignacio. They lost a lot of players, and they're kind of in a rebuilding mode.
Now, you see how they ran that clock? If I was that guy at Freedom, I'd have started that clock about 5 seconds earlier. Could you imagine that guy at Freedom? He'd be like that commercial, 1 second up. You feel like you want to get away? He wants to get on Southwest Airlines and just get the heck out of Dodge, huh?
You're absolutely right. You always wonder about that when it's if that had been here, it would have been understandable.
Oh, but it wouldn't have happened because before that ball's hiked, you're at home, you start that clock. That's America. That's the way it's done.
Thank you, Larry Bird.
That's right.
Ignacio Valley, and now they're kind of confused. They're either confused or they're trying to get some time put back on the clock.
They're going to have to get back and punt the ball with 6:57. That's 7 minutes left. And they're going to, and if they go for it, I don't like this call, but you know what? That's why he makes the big bust. But they're punting.
They're going to.
You got to punt.
Foster is the punter, and Straighten. So it's number 1 kicking to number 1 here.
And I don't think number 1's deep at back. No,
I think they think there might be a fake here because Beltram is running around like a crazy man. But he kicks it, and it's not a very good kick. But it's going to take a bounce, good roll.
But then it's going to stop. 45-yard line.
And it looked like something Lucy used to kick with Schroeder out in the playground. 6:49 to go, 7-0 Antioch. And here are some additional friends of the program: Antioch Chiropractic and Dr. Bill Riston. Golfing Games, S&S Imports, Trident Environmental and Engineering, Antioch Armory, Pantel's Music Box, Bestwick Insurance, Pacific Pride Distribution, Joe's Food and Gas, Skips Copier, Pace Auto Sales, Narrow Road Design, Antioch Opticians, Rock Bottom Records, and Images of 3 Hair Salon.
What has Armstrong got out of Rock Bottom?
Next week, you got the new Saliva record, as well as the new Hammerfall record, and a new double live from Jimi Hendrix, which I know is amazing for you because he's been dead 32 years.
That's right. And the Saliva thing, is there DNA on it? Evidence for in case you got to turn it into anybody?
30-yard kick. Antioch takes over at the 50-yard line. First down, 6:49 to go, fourth quarter, up by 7, and they need to kill some clock here. Here's a handoff to Castile, and Castile has just been bottled up all night. That time, though, a good run, and he's knocked out of bounds by Rockwell after a gain of 5. A 6-yard gain officially, Dave Jackson says.
And you know, Dan, right there, you look at that, he shouldn't have got 3 yards, let alone 6. But right there, that was just a very good job of Castile's part on determination and strength.
Next week, Steve, I just wanted to point out, San Ramon at Monte Vista will be our first game next week. We have a big doubleheader next week. San Ramon, Sam Keller will be out there. He's going to Michigan. And Kyle Wright is going to Miami of Florida to follow in the footsteps of another great East County quarterback, Ken Dorsey.
And I was going to tell you to tell Dr. Jeff Hogue hi, but I will myself because I'm going with
him. We'll tell him next week. Handoff on second down to Dixon. Dixon just, can you do that sound? It's like Mike Allstott straight ahead. Look at that mess.
Yes, it is.
My mom would be having a coronary if she saw this kind of mess coming into her kitchen. Or
she'd be going, Daniel, how are they going to fix that for next week for the pit game?
They're not. This is what you get, folks. You hope it dries out. But it's been like this before for Antioch-Pittsburgh games. I remember one year, Coach Comstock, when I was a freshman, he made us play at Park Junior High because he didn't want the field to get torn up down here for his varsity game that week. So we had to play on our own field up there.
Now, that was a coach who never lost to Pittsburgh.
Marv Comstock.
Never lost to Pittsburgh. In the 70s, won every game.
Did a great job here. 3rd and 1, Antioch with 5:54 to go. And Dixon is going to get strung out, and it's going to be a battle, and he loses it. CU came in, made the hit, and tackles T. Dixon behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of 2, 4th and 3, 5:37 to go, Steve, and Antioch's going to have to punt. I can't imagine them giving Ignacio the ball in this situation here.
No.
Here's
Let's watch it right here. And right here, it's just one-on-one. And right here, you think, Dixon may have the upper hand, but what a great job by him. He just mugs him.
CU made the initial hit.
Did a great job right there.
And Yater. Pastora came in and made the close that one off, Steve. It's going to bring up a 4th down. Soares into kick. And at least in this situation, the 5th punt of the night for Antioch, you could say that if they get this ball here, they're going to have to go a long way with it to try to tie this up. There's exactly 5 minutes on the clock here in the 4th quarter. Soares gets it off, and this one's going to dribble right through the muck.
Oh, nice shot.
That is a good one. It stops, and Rockwell picks it up at about the 15-yard line, and he's tackled at about the 20. So Ignacio Valley has 4:46 to go, 80 yards to tie this one up. Giovanni Iniguez with the tackle. That's one of your favorite names of the night.
Giovanni Iniguez.
30-yard kick, 5-yard return. Coming up next, CC Rock this month, the Scorpions. And you hear the Scorpions, and that's off of the world-famous Animal Magnetism record. I just thought you'd like to know that, Steve. You can pick that up at Rock Bottom Records, too. Rick does special orders.
Didn't they used to back up Donnie Marie Osmond?
No, that was the Tarantulas.
Oh, the Tarantulas. I know it was some kind of
the Black Widow Spiders.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Here we go, Dan.
Penalty flag.
Delay a game?
Let's see. I'm going to count the players. I think Antioch has 12 guys on the field.
But they didn't snap the ball.
I think Antioch has 12 players on the field.
But they did not snap the ball.
It doesn't matter. It's an illegal substitution.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Antioch had 12 players on the field. That's a good call from our back judge tonight. Then we have that Chuck Butterfield. Chuck's an experienced guy making a big call.
There's Ferris Anthony going, you know what? I thought these guys could count. This is killing me.
Man. I have to send these guys back to math class on Monday.
I was talking to Ferris. He goes, Steve, I was talking to him at the YV game, or the Deer Valley game. I said, Ferris, no turnovers today. He goes, don't say nothing. There's 6 minutes left.
Well,
he told me, he goes, it's been crazy. He goes, all week, we don't fumble. We fumble games. This week we fumbled all week, didn't fumble in the game.
They have 23. There's only one other team that has more. Here's a long pass down the sideline, and it's complete. That's number 21, Marcus Brown. And that's the first pass completion of the game.
Yep. And it was a big one. I told you a pass play was going to come into play here in this game.
And as I mentioned earlier, Ygancio is good for one of these a game, and this is the one that caught Antioch napping.
And look at all the time he had him right here. He's just got good protection. Throws a real nice ball right here, and he puts it right where he does, right on the outsides where only his guy can catch it, and great execution, Dan.
He beat Straighton. I'm waiting for Dave Jackson. A 40-yard completion from Hannigan to Brown. And it's a first down for Ignacio Valley at the 40-yard line of Antioch with 4:36 to go. The Panthers ahead 7-0.
And Dan, you know what that does, Dan, for your offense? It just pumps life into everybody. Gives everybody a little shot of adrenaline. And Antioch's got their hands full right here. Well, Ignacio can smell it. Let's see what happens.
That's their first big play in a long time. To pass again is Hannigan. Throws a little swing pass out to CU. CU breaks a tackle. But he's behind the line of scrimmage, and he's wrapped up nicely. And they nearly steal the ball. That was a good tackle that time.
That was good pursuit by the Antioch defense right there, Dan. They had real good coverage and just real good pursuit right here. You can see right here, he almost gets nailed from the blind side.
He got around Coons right there.
Coons, 57. Well, he made him change direction, and here comes Lontavius.
And Beltram.
And right there, I'm sorry, folks, Beltram, that's like a felony. He's got his wallet. Car keys, and
birth
picture of his
certificate.
girlfriend and everything else right there on that play.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. 3:53 to go, clock running. This has turned out as it always seems to, Steve, when you have these kind of muddy games, they always seem to stay close.
Oh, yeah.
And this one, we're going right down to it. It could be 28-21, it could be 7-0, and it is 7-0 Antioch right now. Hand off to Foster, and Foster goes straight into the line, and he's tackled. After a gain of 1, it's going to bring up a 3rd and 11. And as we mentioned, Antioch's bent a number of times, have never broken, have never let them into the end zone tonight.
Yeah. And right here, you got to watch for a screen pass right here, Dan, because Antioch is expecting the pass more than likely, so they're probably going to put a little pressure on them right here. And here's something maybe to the right side, to the far side of the field, where if you could set up a screen, they just tried it on this side of the field. But you know what? Sometimes in high school, just because it doesn't work one time doesn't mean it can't work. Look for the screen.
The only thing I would talk about, 3 minutes to go in this one, is that a screen pass a lot of times takes that precision in a dry field, whereas the pass they completed was just a straight go route and a drop and just throw it up for grabs. But we'll wait to see. They actually have 2 wide receivers in the game, 1 back on 3rd and 11. Huge play in the game, and he fumbles the ball, the snap, and if Antioch is recovered, this could wrap this game up. The ball's still on the ground. Now this is a weird one.
Beltram's got the ball.
Yeah, how could they not say that's Antioch's ball, because no one ever had it? Beltram has it. Oh, I don't know about this call right here, Steve.
No, I don't know either.
Because no one ever had that ball.
Boy, I'd like to see that on the replay right there.
That's the 5th time tonight that Ignacio Valley has lost a ball, and probably the 3rd time tonight on a snap.
Let's watch the replay right here, Dan, and he's just not picking the ball up right here on the exchange right there.
Now, right there, it looks like Hannigan fell on it, and then a number of Panthers come in, and watch the ball.
The ball's right there.
The ball is not in anyone's possession, and then here comes number 68.
Okay, I think he...
No, he never had it.
He never had it.
That should be Antioch's ball. That's a bad call.
Yep.
4th and 13.
Yep.
Play action. Hannigan rolling, and Hannigan sacked. Sacked at the 45-yard line.
Well, right where they would have had the fumble, too, so that's justice being done.
That is justice. Zuniga was there on defense, as well as number 55, Jaggers. Let's take another look at it. 1:44 to go. Antioch should be able to run this clock out and win this game.
And, Dan, can I just say, our camera work was beautiful on that play right there. Phenomenal. And he almost lost it again right there,
we've
Dan.
had great camera work all year, Steve.
Yeah.
You can see Beltram came over. He just kind of dove in there. Number 71 was also there, Jason Trent. Antioch has to kill a minute 44, and they will have won their 4th league game. And if Liberty and Pittsburgh, if the result is in the favor of the Pittsburgh Pirates, next week's Big Little game will mean it's a BVL championship for the winner. But let's wait. But we have to wait with this field, with the way the ball's been around. We want to make sure that Ygancio Valley could still have a shot here. Hand off to Castile, and he has struggled all night. A gain of 1, and Ygancio calls timeout with a minute 35 to go.
Big Matt Callahan's played a great game, Dan, and he's a big guy at 6'7", 270. Callahan's done a great job right there.
So while we have a timeout, Steve, let's remind you once again of next week, Monte Vista and San Ramon.
Okay.
That'll come your way.
Sam Keller.
That'll come your way, and you can see the times in Central County and East County. San Ramon with Sam Keller, Monte Vista, not only with Kyle Wright, but Joe DeSaw, and also and your
Kyle
buddy,
Turner,
Tom Hogue.
and Tom Hogue.
Tom Hogue. It'll be a great game. And then, as we mentioned, if Antioch can hold on here and win this game, and this would be their first. You know, Steve, it's amazing. Even if Ygancio loses this game, in the last 4 years, it's still 138-26 that they've outscored Antioch. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, that is really incredible. But you know what? Antioch could take this 7-0 win over all that stuff right there. A win's a win to Ferris Anthony. It puts a W in the column. It sets them up for the next week big game. And they escaped with one. They really did escape with one, but YV had their chances early, Dan. And like I told you, they were going to look back, and they were going to say.
So that's Ygancio Valley. I believe that's their, might be their first, could be their second. They don't have the timeouts up there, and that's something we're going to have to give. Dave Jackson actually is keeping the timeouts. How wonderful is he? He's getting good. He got good while you were gone.
Yeah, he did get good.
There's 2 timeouts left for each team. 2nd and 10. They actually marked that back at the line of scrimmage. Castile straight ahead. Tough running. Gets about 4. Timeout Ygancio. A minute 28 to go. But as you mentioned too, Steve, even if they get the ball back here with a minute left, they got to go 80 yards with that offense?
And it doesn't happen. You don't have the offense for the big strike play. Now, they made a real nice 40-yard, throw, and obviously that's what you're going to have to do and hope a flag goes up that a kid makes a mistake, and, you need a couple of those.
Look at that mud. Man.
Wow. That looks like Churchill Downs.
Purchase your copy of the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week, a great memory to look back on today and into the future. $25 per tape. Call 933-6264. Make sure to stay with us after the final whistle or buzzer tonight, and we'll have some highlights and all the stats for you. Coming up next, CC Rock this month, the Scorpions. Matt, who's next month?
But
Oh, Dio, who I'm going to see Tuesday night over at the Fillmore.
See those 4 guys right there? One thing I can bet?
What's that?
They won't be in church Sunday. I can tell you that for sure.
Here's a big play. 3rd and 7. A minute 27 to go. Antioch up 7. Castile nowhere. Right up the middle, tackled for maybe a gain of 2. It's going to bring up a 4th and 5, and this one's not over yet, Steve. Ygancio Valley burns their last time out with a minute 21 to go. Castile 17 carries for 53 yards tonight, and an injured Ygancio Valley player. And by the way, let's make sure one of the Ygancio Valley players got hurt in the JV game, and let's hope that he's okay.
Yes, our thoughts and prayers go to him, whoever he is. We never did get his number, but we know that he took off in an ambulance, so we'll be thinking about him.
Ygancio Valley has used up all their timeouts now. They have no timeouts left with a minute 21 to go. Now, Antioch still has to get a snap off and a punt off here, so it's not over yet.
No, it's not.
AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is brought to you by great friends of the program, A&B Creative Trophies in Antioch. Mazet Pontiac in Antioch. RSC Rental Service Corporation, 4030 Pacheco Boulevard in Martinez. Thanks to all of our great friends of the program that allow us to bring you high school football and basketball and baseball every week here on AT&T Broadband. We're going to have a basketball schedule for you probably during the playoffs, and we'll start in January there doing a game of the week. And then in baseball, Coach Whitman will be back. He was one of the substitutes while Steve was away. And I don't know if you were with us in the first quarter, but we had some great shots of Steve on his vacation. This is a big play for Antioch.
And YV's going to be coming after this punt right here.
4th and 5. Good snap. They do come. Good kick. Soares gets it off, and it's caught. Trying to figure out who that is. And we have a penalty. I think it's a roughing, and this could end the game.
Yep. And that's the first penalty that YV's had all night, Dan, if it's against YV. Let's see what we got. Personal foul.
Roughing the kicker. This game is over. This game is going to be over. Can you believe that? The Ignacio Valley Warriors come through. And when you look back on the couple of times that they had the ball in the red zone and couldn't score, those will look very small compared to this penalty, because they would have had pretty good field position at the 26-yard line with 1:12 to go. But if this, and there's Coach Ygancio, and I don't think he can believe this.
No, because he.
Or is that might be Coach Michaels. You got to remember, no one has hair on that coaching staff.
That's Coach Michaels right there, and I think when there's
that might be Coach Ygancio.
That's a Coach Ygancio with the orange right there. But if you take your hat off and you're bald head, that means you're mad.
But that's a huge play. Antioch with a first down at the 35-yard line. Clock running, 1:07 to go.
All they got to do is kneel down.
Put down the knee, and this one's over. The Antioch Panthers will end a 3-game losing streak to Ignacio Valley. They were outscored 138-19 during that streak. And I'll tell you, this is a big game for Antioch, not just because they won, but the way they won. They really shut down Ignacio's offense in the second half.
I mean, from the third quarter on, they got zilch. The first quarter, they looked like this could be a long one.
Loma takes the snap, takes the knee. He'll only have to do it one more time, and the Antioch Panthers will move on. And they're hoping for a positive result out of Pittsburgh. If the Pittsburgh Pirates win that game, next week's Big Little game will be for the BVL Championship outright here at Ells Field in Antioch, and we'll have it for you. 25 seconds to go, and the crowd here is rewarded. The people that stayed out here tonight with this terrible weather, this terrible field condition, and the Antioch Panthers are going to muck one out here 7-0, it looks like, over Ignacio Valley Warriors.
I think they should give out Panther pins for everybody who stayed here.
Like Quad Panthers.
Yeah, Quad
Panthers.
It's
over. Antioch does it. 7-0 as the Panthers celebrate here on their home field. Antioch 7, Ignacio Valley nothing. We'll be back to wrap it up for you in 3 minutes here on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible by a generous donation from Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems and stadium-style seating. Catch the back-to-school movie special at their Pittsburgh location with rolled-back admission prices and a free concession coupon each week on the Brendan Pittsburgh website page. And RSC Rental Service Corporation in Martinez. RSC offers a wide variety of equipment specific to the petrochemical industry, as well as the general contractor and homeowner. We deliver straight to the site and have a fully trained staff of mechanics and office personnel to fit every need. That's Rental Service Corporation, 4030 Pacheco Boulevard in Martinez. Thanks again to all our friends from the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week.
Hi, Frankie. It's Christy. Do you want to come over for a swim?
Wow, I'll be right over. What are you doing, Christy?
Oh, hi, Frankie. My oil's really dirty. Will you change it for me?
I thought we were going swimming, though. I guess so.
Dee, thanks. All the stuff's in the garage, but don't make a mess, otherwise my dad will get mad.
Well, I'm done changing your oil filter. Hey, where's Christy?
Hey, Frankie. Christy went to the mall, but before we go swimming, just place the used oil in a resealable container and the filter in a Ziploc plastic bag and place it on the curb with the other recyclables. Call 1-800-NO-DUMPING for more information or check out my website at www.funnelhead.com.
Gee, thanks, Mr. Funnelhead.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible by a generous donation from Lee Holmes Sales, home with a $299 camper shell. With over 250 shells in stock, open 7 days a week, we treat your truck like our own. Delta RC Raceway and Hobby Shop, Northern California's largest radio control racing facility, behind the fairgrounds on 10th Street. Dragon's Lair at Rivertown and downtown Antioch, specializing in stained glass windows, picture framing, collectibles, jewelry, and items for home and garden. Delta Bay Waterproofing, a specialty contractor that specializes in caulking, waterproofing, and coatings throughout the greater Bay Area. Performance Chiropractic and Rehabilitation Center in Concord, Clayton Valley Sports Injury Specialist, Auto Industrial and General Injury Care on Treat Boulevard in Concord. Communication Buildings of America, local manufacturers of portable communication shelters, general contractors, metal fabrications, and custom fiberglass in downtown Antioch. Thanks again to all our friends from the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week.
Here, make a wish.
He loves me.
Will you marry me?
Be my wedded wife.
Jory's Flowers, 2 locations in Walnut Creek and Concord. Call now and receive $10 off your next order. Minimum order $35 plus tax and delivery. Jory's Flowers. What do you want your flowers to say?
There's the victorious Antioch Panthers who win tonight on AT&T Broadband 7-0 in a game that took football back to the 1920s, Steve.
Yes, Dan, it was smash mouth football, and it was grind it in your face, Big Ten style, 1960, and it was a great game.
Actually, 1922, I think.
Okay.
We'll go back that
The Big
far.
Ten, remember, it took them forever
And
to throw a
Ignacio
pass.
Valley fought very gallantly
Yes, they
tonight.
did.
They put up a heck of an effort, but the 2 times they were stopped in the red zone, and then that big penalty on the punt will be plays that Coach Ygancio will point to tonight, ultimately in their loss.
And, you know, Dan, I think also you made a point earlier. I think it's you have to have good conditions to run the kind of offense they got. They got a lot of misdirection
both these
and
teams.
pitch. Yeah, and I think that Ignacio Valley just had a rough time getting the ball really from the center to the quarterback. Killed it tonight.
So Antioch wins 7-0. They are now set up for an opportunity, if Liberty loses to Pittsburgh tonight, to play the Pittsburgh Pirates for the BVL championship right here at Eels Field, and we'll have it for you on AT&T Broadband next weekend. Let's take a look at the highlights tonight. There were not a lot of highlights tonight, Steve, as both of these teams were kind of shut down by the field. But we're going to go back to the first half and show you some of the plays. This is actually our play of the game, Charles Brown. And this is the play that really got Antioch going on that drive that they scored their touchdown.
And there's Wilson, Dabini, and Luna right there opening up on the right side, and then the rest is just Charles Brown, 52-yard run. He gets out here. Here's Straighten, and he does a good job, but he gets caught from behind right here. And you don't think that was going to happen, but that was a very good effort. On number 17,
Jimmy Warren.
Jimmy Warren made
I
a
think
very,
you would
you know,
remember that after you've asked me 4 times
Well,
now.
Jimmy Warren was a player somewhere. Jimmy Warren played
Probably
for
was.
somebody.
Here's the touchdown, T. Dixon, and I want to mention, Steve, that Charles Brown not only had our play of the game, but he was the Antioch player of the game.
Yes,
and
he
that's
was.
the only touchdown of the game, an 8-yard run by T. Dixon. Antioch wins tonight 7-0 here on AT&T Broadband. There's Joe Stiglitz from the Contra Costa Times interviewing some of the Panthers. And by the way, the player of the game tonight for Ignacio Valley, Kyle Foster, who had 97 yards rushing on 18 carries. There's Richie Beltram. Let's take a look at the stats in tonight's game. Both these teams really got shut down in the second half, Steve. There was not a lot of offense in the second half as the field conditions worsened. Total offense for Antioch, 196 yards. Yeah, there it is, 196 yards. Look at that. No yards passing tonight.
I don't think they attempted one pass.
They attempted one pass.
To James
Romo
Burke.
was 0 for 1. Hannigan was 2 of 4 for 38. But the only pass play that had any positive yardage was that pass play in the fourth quarter, the 40-yard completion to Brown. For Ignacio, Foster had 97 yards rushing. CU had 13. For Antioch, Brown, the player of the game, with 98 yards. Dixon Knight had 42 and a touchdown. Castile had 53 and 17 carries, and probably you can't really say his worst game, but just a game where he didn't get loose. You can see the turnovers, though, as well. Killed Ignacio Valley, but really the play that killed the Warriors was this one. With 1:20 to go, Ignacio out of timeouts, Jason Sori's back to kick, and then a roughing the kicker call. And look at this great camera work.
Well, you know they were coming after him, Dan, and he might have got blocked into him. No, I don't. Well, we're not going to get the end of it.
We missed the end of it
but
there.
He did get nailed, and that's what they seen, and you knew they were going to be coming after him. But I think you're going to look back at this game, too, and we talked about in the first quarters. They moved the ball between the 20s. Very good. They got the red zone twice, and Antioch with 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line held them 2 times.
The players of the game once again, Charles Brown for Antioch and Kyle Foster for Ignacio Valley. I want to remind you once again, the West Coast Jamboree comes into town in the East County over the Christmas holidays. 56 teams. It's the 3rd annual. Dave Jackson is putting it on, and we want to thank Dave for helping us in the booth tonight. Also, Robert DeCambry up here with stats as we look at the players of the game, Charles Brown and Kyle Foster. As we get ready to wrap up another one and get ready for one of the biggest weekends that we've ever had here on AT&T Broadband. 2 games that could play into the championship roles of the EBAL and the BVAL. As you look at Kyle Foster, there's a warrior for you.
Yes, it is, and he played a great game.
aptly named Kyle Foster, a junior. We'll see him next year. Who knows? We might do this game. We've done this game, Steve, 3 straight years, going back to the original setup here with AT&T Broadband, and we might do it again. Let's take a look at who helped us out here tonight, as always. And the mud didn't help anyone out here tonight. The producer and director of AT&T Broadband High School Sports is Matt Bolander.
Metal Matt, and some people know him as.
Morgan Kuhn on graphics tonight. Thanks, Morgan.
Did a good job.
Johnny Woo on replay and audio, as always.
And he really wooed me tonight.
Yes. Jonathan Martin on camera is always right next door to us.
I always like seeing Jonathan. He works for the A's part-time.
And the Giants. Carlin Larson on camera. Now, Carlin has retired, and we wanted to say one more time to Carlin, thanks for all your great help out here all these years as we see Ferris Anthony talking to the press. Carlin is going to take a break and kind of retire from his camera work out here, and he's always done a great job for us.
With all the kids he runs around with, he should.
Joseph Ocon also on camera tonight. There's the coaching staff. There's Coach Ivankovich and Coach Michaels. Mike Harrell on camera tonight.
And I met Mike tonight for the first time.
Joel Madsen on data tonight, doing a great job as always with you know who. Robert DeCambra on stats, and also Grandpa
and there's
Dave
Mr.
Jackson.
Ruben Luna.
There's Ruben Luna heading off
to the buffet line.
And where you'll be soon.
Dave Jackson, we missed.
We said Dave Jackson, and there's Mike Larson, and that's someone that wants to practice out here on the field. Denise Tillabar, production assistant tonight. Special thanks to Ron Carter for help on graphics here on the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. And special thanks to Coach Ivankovich, who gave me a lot of great stuff as we got ready for tonight's game. And as always, Ferris Anthony, and we'll be having a lot of contact with Ferris as the week progresses and we get ready for the Big Little game. Special thanks, as always, to Antioch High School Principal Jeff Rich, Assistant Principal Louis Rocha, and their great staff. It's great to have you back, not Clay Callum.
Oh, what, they don't got me down there?
They forgot to change your name back.
And I want to thank Gary McAdams for giving me a ride on the card up to here.
That's who I was talking about, your security guy.
Yeah.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Rocco's, voted the best pizza by readers of the Contra Costa Times. Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, featuring the best in first-run feature films. Jory's Flowers of Concord and Walnut Creek, floral arrangements for all occasions. The Contra Costa Clean Water Program and Mr. Funnelhead. Remember, it's free, easy, and cool to recycle used oil and filters. A&B Creative Trophies, specializing in awards, Letterman jackets, embroidery, and team trophies on West 6th Street in Antioch. Mazet Pontiac on 10th Street in Antioch, the biggest little auto dealer in the West. And RSC Rental Service Corporation of Martinez, scissor lifts, lighting, and other equipment for the petrochemical industry at 4030 Pacheco Boulevard in Martinez. Next week, 2 games for you: San Ramon Valley at Monte Vista, Pittsburgh at Antioch. Should be a great weekend. Great to have you back, partner.
Great to be here, Dan. Thanks for waiting for me.
For Steve Sanchez, this is Dan Wall reminding you of tonight's final score: Antioch 7, Ignacio Valley nothing. This has been a high school sports production from AT&T Broadband in Walnut Creek, and for the first time in 6 weeks,
good night, everybody.